Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game with the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer. Life comes to games like never before.
You don't need much more than this. The next start, falling here as well. Decimate takes a lot of damage. He's dead as Evan picks that one up. And immunity, I think they've done it. The Nexus ban now sooner. Gonna get taken out here as well. Swiper taking it up. The Nexus taking damage and immunity. They have done it. They will go to game some. Good game, well played.
This is just the beginning of Riot's esports presence in Australia, right? We're here to stay. Stick around.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Riot Autumn Regionals Week 2, Day 2 here. My name is Place, and I'm joined with Atlas, and this is going to be a ripper of a night, guys. Let's take a quick look, though, at what the tournament is all about.
Yeah, absolutely, Place. As we've said multiple times before, but we're going to refresh you yet again. The round of 8 is, of course, 8 teams coming together, performing in 2 different groups, and the top 2 teams from those groups will advance to Supernova, where they're going to battle it out in our massive tournament at that location on the Gold Coast. It's going to be super exciting. But of course, it is week 2, day 2, and we're going to have a match from Group B, which is going to be a relegation match. One team, only one surviving.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Group B to see how these guys have been going on there. Look at that.
Absolutely. Both of these teams losing in the first week against tough competition are fighting to keep their spot in the round of 8. The winner will be facing off against, of course, Frenetic Array or Gamecom NV, based on how they qualify on Thursday.
Yeah, and today we got your Soulshell Chuffer, or YSSC, taking on Team Eviscerate here. And YSSC, or rather, well, they qualified through the ACL qualifying round, which was a pretty big bracket for them to move through, and they were the 2nd seed coming out of that tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Little Wraith taking one over them, which we're going to see later on. But, of course, our other team today is going to be, of course, Eviscerate, who qualified through the Cyber Gamer ladder, which is arguably one of the more difficult ways to qualify because there's so many teams in that tournament.
Yeah, and coming from Team Eviscerate, we've got Rusty, and this guy is such a superstar, been around the scene forever, currently known for his poke and push style mid lane champions. And in 2011, he went to Korea for WCG with Sequential Gaming, so this guy's got a lot of history in the scene.
Yeah, speaking of which, Denian also went to Korea for WCG in 2011. He was playing AD carry for that team as well. So a little bit of rivalry on both of these teams, sort of old teammates coming to duke it out together. And it's almost 3 years on from that situation. So incredible history coming out of these teams.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at our featured matchup of the day. And I'm always excited to see this one. Who will it be? Well, I already know. It's going to be the AD carries, Denian and Will2G. Will2G back on the lineup for Eviscerate here. He wasn't here for week 1 for his team, so he's back on the lineup. And look at that. Stats not really great for him, but a misfortune pick in his last 3 is rather interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Misfortune not being picked up all that often. She's a little bit of an off-meta pick. Doesn't really have the mobility of a lot of other champions. But going over on the side of Denian, loves picking that Ashe. Speaking of no mobility, Ashe not exactly known for dashing moves or anything like that to get across the map, but is amazing at that kite. Really can use that frost shot to her advantage in that way. And as you can see, the stats don't lie. Denian been playing really, really well on that champion. Hasn't been working out quite so well in the last couple of games, though.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for him with that Ashe. And YSSC here, your Soulshell Chuffer, the innovators of team comps, I feel, in Australia now. And we saw them in the Challenger qualifiers picking some cool stuff. They tried it again here at the regionals in week number 1. Didn't really work out for them, though. So I'm definitely interested to see what they're going for now. We're into Champion Select. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about YSSC, though, is the fact that they were against Frenetic Array, and Frenetic Array's teamfight control is fantastic.
Yeah.
They are amazing at that. So YSSC used that initiation teamfight comp, but didn't quite have the control once everything was all said and done, and Frenetic Array came through just to fight them off in that situation. So we'll see whether they can pull that together this game, but Eviscerate going to be really tough competition.
Yeah, and look at this. The ban's coming out so quick here. Elise being banned out against Prince. No surprises there to see that one gone. And Vi banned against Zahi.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, these 2 junglers being so prevalent, and another jungler ban coming through as well, Pantheon, who's really been seeing a lot of play recently, just for that really early lane pressure that he brings with his stun that he can land.
And this is kind of interesting. I would have expected a lot more targets against the solo laners from both of these teams. I mean, Rusty, Little Cutie, Cheezeroni, Jack Attack, and Squiggle, all superstars for these teams. So a little bit surprising not to see only of those bans. Wukong is a jungle ban as well. Yeah. And of course the Kassadin.
This is ridiculous. We're seeing 3 jungler bans all aimed at Zahi here coming out on the side of Eviscerate. And that poor guy really is feeling the pressure right now. Yeah. He's going to run out of champions to play. And on the side of Prince as well, I mean, Prince does bring out a little bit more of the unconventional picks. Has played a lot of Olaf, in fact. There's a little bit of Lee Sin there as well. Zahi also a fantastic Lee Sin player. I think we might be seeing the Blind Monk this game.
I think Lee Sin needs to be picked here first by Eviscerate, and I think that's what they're looking for with all these jungle bans. Zahi will probably play Lee Sin here. So they've gone with that Shyvana instead. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll see what comes out here. The Shyvana pick makes me think that perhaps there might be a Lulu being aimed for here. We'll see whether your Soulshell Chuffer actually pick up that Lulu. And there it is, being hovered over now by Jack Attack. And they're taking away the Sivir as well. This is fantastic. Whoa. That mobility team comp that you really want to involve with that Dragon's Descent Shyvana going into that back line is now being completely taken away from your Soulshell Chuffer. Really, really smart work.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see where the Lulu's going here as well. We've only seen it in that support role so far in the regionals.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a fairly strong bot lane here on the side of your Soulshell Chuffer if they decide to go with these 2 champions. And that being said, Little Cutie Cheezeroni can play almost any mid laner. I mean, we've seen his Swain coming out. It's so exciting to watch, but that guy plays everything.
Yeah.
So he could be picking up that Lulu in the mid. We'll just see what comes through in the picks. But it does mean Prince does get that Lee Sin.
Yeah, and I think this is the best choice for him. And probably what they should have done with the first pick was a little bit risky. The thing is, if you ban 3 jungle champs there, I like this Tristana hover. Will2G likes his Tristana. Played, I think, 87 ranked games, which is a lot. At the start of this season already, so been doing a lot of work on that Tristana.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it'll actually come through. I mean, it is a little bit outside of the meta these days, but we'll see whether it does come.
They actually do lock it in.
Wow.
Okay.
This is Rusty hovering over it, though. I mean, he does have a sore finger at the moment, doesn't actually have access to that flash key quite as readily as possible, does possibly want to use that rocket jump in order to get those resets around these fights. Okay. And AP Tristana is a thing, but I'm going to stop talking about that because it's probably not going to happen, let's be honest.
So I'd like to see a support Zyro picked up here as well by Eviscerate. That combos really nicely with the Tristana. And if that is a Lulu in the bottom lane as well, it's going to be a super strong lane together. But I'm interested to see what the next 2 picks from YSC here because obviously they're going to see some of this stuff coming as well. And so how they pick is going to be crucial right here.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The thing is, with the Sivir pickup against this Tristana, Sivir does quite well against the level 2 all-in that Tristana is known for. Tristana sort of has a really strong 1 through 3 and then falls off till about late game.
Yeah.
So Sivir going to be really good with that spell shield if she manages to level that one up early.
Okay,
Evelyn
there we
and
go.
Trundle.
So Zahi's one of the only junglers here that has been playing a lot of that Evelyn. Spooks from Immunity is another guy there that likes that Evelyn pickup. So Zahi on this Eve, going to be pretty scary for the lineup of Eviscerate.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I really love watching Eve, and we'll see whether Eviscerate know how to ward against her. Of course, there's a completely different playstyle when you're against an Eve jungle, and we'll see whether Eviscerate decide to adapt to that and possibly get a lot more wards inside the camp so that when Eve is forced to come out of stealth, they're going to be able to see her and know where she is on this map. And with Prince on Lee Sin, he is able to get into that jungle and able to get those wards down.
Alrighty, so no surprises there. We're seeing a Nidalee pick up, going to Rusty.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
he's got to be up, becoming his most played champion there for the mid lane, and no surprises as well, or maybe a little bit of a surprise for some people, but that Zyra comboing with that Tristana, kind of saw that one coming, and it's a really nice lock-in if they do go with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not sure whether I really like the Nidalee pick. Just in the team comp, they don't have the Lucian for the extra poke. They don't have a lot of that sort of stuff. But if Prince can really get into that backline with Squiggle and they can do some work, and you can have Rusty in the backline throwing out heals to the tanks, trying to keep people up, and throwing those spears in for the execute damage, I mean, that's going to be huge. But we'll see what they decide to go with. I mean, having Will2G on this Tristana, that's what really throws a spanner in the works, because we haven't seen Tristana for so long, and we're not sure how she actually fares in this new Season 4 meta.
Yeah, and I guess as opposed to that, we've seen Will2G play a lot of Lucian in the past, and that, everyone knows how well the Lucian combos with that Nidalee, the culling, the spears, just poking people all over the place. So a little bit surprised, actually, we didn't see that picked up, considering Rusty wanted that Nidalee pick, but, this is the way they're going to go here, so we'll have to watch how it unfolds for them through this match. Last pick up, though, from YSC. What are they going for?
Yeah, well, it could be a support or it could be a mid lane, so we have to see what little cutie Cheeseroni decides to do, whether he wants to go for that Lulu in the mid lane, or whether he wants to pick up something else and they can, maybe put the Lulu in support, as we've been seeing so much in this OCE scene thus far. The Swain being hovered over, though, Flying Dew. Is he baiting us?
It locks in.
There it is.
Oh man! So this is something.
I'm so excited.
This is
I'm
something
so excited.
that YSC did in their qualifying games, and they tried last week as well. This is why we call them the innovators here in Oceania. Not necessarily because it always works, but sometimes it does. And little cutie Cheeseroni definitely has the Swain mechanics down, and can sometimes catch other players off guard with it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the thing. Because Swain hasn't been seeing as much play recently, people often underestimate the massive amount of damage that Torment can do. I mean, it really, really stacks up over time. Yeah. So we'll see whether Rusty has been playing against it. I mean, we know that Pempty has also been picking up that champion, didn't unfortunately make it into the round of 8, but there are people that have been hovering over that Swain recently.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously these guys all picking up a couple of interesting champs here. The Zyra and the Tristana making return there. The Swain support Lulu again, which is, what we might have expected, but actually in recent months we've seen a lot of that Lulu mid, so this is an interesting one. And it's starting to become a trend now at the regionals as well.
Yeah, it's like the qualifiers were the time for Lulu mid, and now we're into the round of 8. Lulu is a support champion again, and it's really quite strange, considering the prevalence of Lulu mid in every other scene across the world. So we'll see whether that works out for Flying Dew and Denian in that bottom lane, and I'm really excited because the Boomerang Blade and the Glitter Lance is a lot of poke damage, and you can get an easy Boomerang Blade off with that massive slow the Glitter Lance does have. So we'll see. We'll see whether it works out for them.
And in this top lane as well, we've got a Trundle. We saw Optic Snipers pick this one up against Immunity in the first game of the regionals, actually, and he's picked up Teleport as well. Yeah,
I really like the Trundle in this team comp as well, because there is nothing scarier than that gigantic troll wreaking havoc throughout your team, especially with On the Hunt active and potentially a Whimsy as well. Having that guy able to get everywhere is just ridiculous. Plus, because Shyvana is such a massive tank, that Dragon's Descent giving her so much extra defensive statistics in that armor and magic resist, he just puts that Subjugate down as soon as she Dragon Descents into the backline. That means that Denian's going to have enough damage to be able to take her down because of the lack of stats, and he's going to be able to really wreck through the enemy team with that extra health.
And that's going to be important here because, with a poke comp, you do rely on your front line being strong here because you don't really have a lot of other champions to help you out. So dealing with that Shyvana is going to be important.
Yeah, it really, really is, and we'll see whether they can do that effectively throughout this game. And they're going to be wanting to teamfight. We know that your Soul Shroud Chuffer are one of those teams that really likes to initiate a fight and get things going as much as possible. And seeing Denian on Sivir now is really quite interesting because he hasn't really been playing much other than Caitlyn and Ashe and those sort of champions. I mean, he was originally known for playing Graves as well. He was fantastic on that hero as well. So I haven't seen him on Sivir recently, and we'll see how he goes.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup between these two teams. One of the closest ones I think we'll see for a while, and it's an elimination game as well.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is on the line here. I mean, it is the first game of a best-of-3, so they do have another option go through, but they've really got to put their best foot forward here because momentum is huge in these games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when we look at T-Gun as well, he's a very emotional player sometimes as well. So that's really that momentum that we're talking about.
Yeah, and Rusty as well. I mean, the whole side of Eviscerate, really momentum-based. And it reminds me a lot of the old SK with, you know, Ocelot on that team as well, if you've followed any of the European scene. I mean, just really excited, really into their game. And they often go on a roll. So if they manage to win that first game, you could see Eviscerate potentially going through and plowing through a few more wins. So that could be really, really good momentum for them.
And of course, you know, if they win this, they haven't even taken a seed yet. They still got to move on and play another best of 3 to qualify into that round of 4 at Supernova. So, you know, there's still a long way to go in this group stage here.
Yeah, that's true. And they're going to be against either Envy or Frenetic Array, 2 massively formidable opponents. So, I mean, this is sort of just the tip of the iceberg now, and they've really got to get through the rest of it if they do qualify. But that goes for your Soulshell Chuffer as well, and those guys are really hungry for a victory here. And we know that there is so much history and so much veteran players on both of these teams. So it's going to be really exciting to see. We're into the loading screen. We're almost into the game.
Alrighty, and something interesting as well here, something you have to take into account, I guess, is that Eviscerate didn't have a full lineup last week, and so they didn't get some results that they were looking for. They had Castro subbing in for Will2G, and what are you expecting, actually, with this shift back to Will2G, who was their original starter?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, T-Gun is known for being his massively aggressive self. Coming over from StarCraft 2 has those mechanics down pat. I mean, he's going to be playing that keyboard like a piano, you know, and making sure that he gets all of those skills down in exactly the right time. But it looked like he was just feeling a little bit out of place last week. I mean, he wasn't really playing as aggressively, and I think that might have been a synergistical type factor there.
Very big word there.
Yeah, I don't even know whether it's real.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out. Someone will probably tweet us and just tell us anyway.
Yeah, I think someone definitely should.
Deviating from the word exactly, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at the mid lane matchup here as well. Rusty, returning champion. He went to Korea in 2011, so a lot of history, but he was kind of taken out of retirement to join this team, which is an interesting thing to consider. And against Little Cutie Cheeseroni on the Swain and Nidalee is the matchup. What are we expecting?
This is going to be an interesting one to watch out for because Nidalee, before she hits level 6, doesn't have a lot of mobility. I mean, if she's in a brush, of course, she's going to get that the ability to move a little bit quicker, but in the mid lane, you're not going to be running through brushes all that much. So that Swain going to be able to land that never move and going to be able to get a fair bit of damage down. I mean, Swain, of course, himself not having as much mobility as well, so we could possibly look to see these junglers coming through to that mid lane fairly early on.
And we are almost in the game. In fact, there we are. Game 1 coming right up. Let's do it. Alright, so there we go. There is a quick pause. So unfortunately, the hype doesn't lead into the game. And man, I'm on the edge of my seat right here because that video always gets me pumped.
He actually is, everyone, yes. I can confirm edge of his seat.
Alrighty, so the pause will be done quick. There was a quick disconnect. I think it was Jack Attack. Also loaded a little bit slowly as well. And that's probably why he's taking the teleport so we can get around the map. There's the resume, and here's the game.
Yeah, finally we're back into this game. Of course, your Soulshell Chuffer on our red side, Eviscerate taking up the blue side as well. Are you going to be predicting perhaps that defensive start today, Place, as we've been seeing so often?
I don't think I am, actually. YSC is one of the only teams that we've seen look for invades. Historically, they've done it from the blue side, so maybe not this game, but it's something to look for. Right now, looks like they are going for that 5-man defense as well as Eviscerate, so no early level ones.
Yeah, your Soulshell Chuffer do have the Eve advantage. I mean, it can do a little bit more scouting around and getting into the enemy jungle without possibly being spotted, even if there are wards available. So, yeah, not opting to go for that, though. It's just going to be defensive starts all around, and another pause coming through.
So, pauses are the way to start out this game, apparently, for these guys, and it's already going to be a slow level 1 with the 5 versus 5 face-off.
Yeah, that is absolutely the thing, and we've got the both supports here, starting out with the revamped item in the bottom lane as well for that gold generation, and it's a whole lot better. That Frostfang being massive as far as getting a little bit of extra gold now that it's had that slight buff. So we've been seeing a massive trend into that. Not as many Talismans of Ascension, being available. And that's really, I think, going to hurt the side of your Soul Shell Chuffer. I mean, having that Talisman of Ascension gives you another speed boost. And what they want with On the Hunt and also having that Trundle that they want to get into the back line is really to have that movement speed.
Yeah, and something interesting as well is mana pot pick up there in the favor of T-Gun. So going to be spamming out a lot of roots, I would imagine.
Yeah, that is true. We'll see whether he does decide to do that. Does have the Biscuits as well. And Biscuits not available for Flying Dew, so hasn't gone as deep into that utility tree. So we'll see whether he's a little bit more tanky or whether he's actually gone a lot more offensive with his Lulu Mastery page. And Flying Dew, I would not put that past him.
Yeah, I would expect him actually go into the utility, though, going for that cooldown reduction on the summoner spells.
Doesn't actually have the extra 100 gold that you'd get if you'd spec into that utility tree, though.
So, yeah, it's interesting to see where his path's gone, actually.
No place is safe.
Probably that offense, yeah. I mean, he started with a Spell Thief's Edge, so he's going for a lot more AP than usual here, so that would definitely make sense.
Yeah, and if we have a look at his stats, I mean, he may have a little bit more. He does. He has a little bit more attack damage and a little bit more of that ability power as well. So, and specking into that magic penetration, so interesting.
Alright, so it's going to be a blue buff start here for Zahi. Pretty common there on that Evelynn Prince as well. So that puts both of these junglers on opposite sides of the map.
Oh, wow. Here, Will2G getting a little bit of damage down early. Early trade being won out there by Will2G and T-Gun and really putting their mark on this bottom lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be an interesting bot lane for sure there. And Will2G being back on the roster. I mean, this guy, new to competitive play as well here. And wow, taking a lot of damage from Flying Dew. And he is still just putting down that punishment. That is just relentless.
Yeah, Will2G is just so aggressive on this Tristana. I mean, level 1 as well.
Oh, Will taking a lot of damage here. Will Flying Dew follow? Flying Dew, such an aggressive support already in this matchup.
Yeah, this bottom lane is definitely going to be one to watch because they are going at it 100% of this time.
Well, question is Danian going to look for the kill here? Level 2 will be in the favor of Flying Dew.
Well,
actually,
both hit at the same time.
Oh, so very close between these guys. You can see only 3 minions left between them. I'm expecting some flashes here, but I don't know.
I think this is a little bit of a misplay by Will2G, though, because the level 2 from Tristana, when she does have that explosive shot and the rocket jump as well, I mean, it's a lot of burst damage, and it's and it can come out as a bit of a surprise. But now that Will2G is so low, not going to have that opportunity, which I think is a little bit of an oversight there. Oh, Rusty in trouble.
Taking a lot of damage here from Zahi. He'll be all right. He won't go down, but forced to use that heal, forced to use a lot of that mana.
Yeah, unfortunately misses the spear as well as Zahi makes his way out, but really nice pressure being put on here early. Oh,
here we go. Snare not going to land there from T-Gun. They're going to follow it up. Nice damage onto Danian. T-Gun needs to be trouble. Will actually jumping in. That's very dangerous there. Manages to find the kill and does get out with the reset. Jumps completely away from that fight. And Flying Dew going to escape. But it's a 1-kill pick up there.
That was fantastic play there by Will2G. Rocket jumping in and then rocket jumping in and out again. To safety after he gets that reset on the rocket jump. Really nice work, and Prince just showing how to play that Lee Sin and really putting it down early, which is what you have to do. Lee Sin's so strong in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, and Prince has a lot more pressure on him this game as well because his team banned out 3 junglers, which meant that this Lee Sin pickup was something they wanted from the beginning, something they've planned for. So he needs to make sure he makes it work.
Yeah, and Zahi forced onto something that he may not be quite as comfortable with. I mean, he did play that. Actually, last week he did play the Evelynn, but didn't go so well for the team. So they were possibly baiting out that pick, knowing that they might have a way of tackling it.
Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, Evelynn, not something you would want to pick into that Lee Sin necessarily, but I mean, Zahi's confident on the Evelynn, which is at least a good point for him.
Yeah, and Evelynn offering a fair bit of pressure here in the middle lane as well, so not necessarily doing nothing, but 500 gold swing and having first blood on a Tristana as well is massive here on the side of Eviscerate because Tristana known for the late game and not necessarily able to carry that through the mid game, so it generally has a bit of a slump, like perhaps something like a Caitlyn would.
And as you said in Champ Select as well, like Denian on that Sivir is going to have a stronger early game, and so the fact that Will2G is already coming out ahead at this early in the game is a big point to kind of elaborate on.
Yeah, and meanwhile in the mid lane,
Rusty can take a lot of damage. Can Cheezeroni finish it? Didn't actually flash, had the Ignite as well. I guess heal and barrier would have been enough from Rusty to save him.
Yeah, he's playing really smart here, did Cheezeroni. Not actually getting baited. Oh, wow, does flash forward now.
Has the barrier. No, he will go down. Cheezeroni finds the kill.
Yeah, the heal comes through as well, but the Ignite's still running, so that heal not doing nearly as much. Really nice play here by little Cheezeroni, and we knew it. He is a fantastic Swain player, and I think Rusty just misjudging the amount of damage.
And that's pretty much all we can expect from this lane from now on. Cheezeroni's going to be bullying Rusty all from the start, and it comes down to Zahi's early pressure. He did a really, really good job getting that early gank off.
Yeah, that's really, really true. And we've got 2 plants coming down here. Flying Jew and Denny in a little bit of trouble.
Just
Denny
chilling.
not managing to pick up the extra CS that those plants do offer.
Yeah, 5 extra gold, which is nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Really stacks up.
Depends how many you kill, but yes.
Kill 100, you get 500. I don't know.
Hey, that's true.
Do some maths. Well, Jack Attack's going to get chunked here. Squiggle doing a good job. This burnout really putting the pressure down. And here comes Prince as well into the bottom lane. Will he find anything? No.
He's putting a lot of pressure down here, though. Jack Attack is, oh, here we are in the mid lane.
Rusty gets locked up by an Evermove, already taking a half health. Cheezeroni might take him out. Torment is ticking, and Rusty will fall. Cheezeroni already 2-0 and 0.
Yeah, and Zahi was here for the gank. Cheezeroni said, "No, I don't need you." Uses all of his remaining mana, and Rusty's going to miss this entire wave here in the middle lane as well. Little cutie Cheezeroni, he's so good on that swing.
Oh man, Prince, what's he going to be able to do here? Just get a couple of creeps. Needs to be careful because Cheezeroni still has a lot of that damage packing.
Yeah, that's really, really true. Both of these plants weren't actually attacking for a little while there. T-Gun can't be too happy about that one. Ricochet coming through, and Denian doing a fair bit in this bottom lane, even though he did go down earlier on to that for that first blood, is still able to keep up in CS.
Yeah, that's true right there. And I guess Flying Jew as well here has been doing a good job of keeping the pressure up, which allows his AD carry to fire.
Yeah. One thing to note is, though, Jack Attack getting a lot of pressure put down on him by Squiggle. Sort of the more new addition to the team wasn't actually there when they qualified. They did actually have to take in their manager Baneblade for that particular matchup. But Squiggle doing a lot of work against Jack Attack. And this is something you'd expect. Shyvana a little bit stronger than Trundle earlier on in this game. Does kind of need to have that subjugate in order to deal with that Shyvana in that top lane.
Yeah, the tankiness that she's going to be bringing up. And, I mean, that's a good point as well here. Squiggle joining the roster again for EV, and he's a pretty new guy as well out of solo queue, and a lot of people talk him up, and so far he's been playing this matchup very well.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Attack's been doing well to stay up in CS. He's only 7 down now, but there is a massive wave here that Squiggle's able to pick up, and Jack Attack might lose a bit under the turret.
Oh, nice snare, catching both of the AD carry and support in that bottom lane. Will2G didn't want to follow it up though, just wanted to farm.
Yeah, Rusty dodging out of the way of that never move as well in the meantime. But this bottom lane is so volatile. T-Gun's really just going ham, and it's really smart because Will2G has a little bit of that advantage because of that first blood gold, and T-Gun just non-stop aggression. And this is what we wanted to see from him in earlier games.
Yeah, that's right. And in week 1, we expected T-Gun to be this super aggressive support. He picked up the Morgana, which is a champion that can sometimes pull that one off, but he was definitely passive, and so this is a good turnaround from T-Gun, and perhaps feeling a bit more confident in this matchup.
Yeah, and it's not something you generally expect. I mean, Zyra, a queen of the disengage as the wet noodle fight goes on in that top lane. Yeah, with that Stranglethorns and with that Grasping Roots, has so many abilities to get out of a fight and isn't often used in that really aggressive way, and it's really good to see T-Gun adapting that champion to his playstyle.
So, this middle lane though, Cheezeroni has that blue buff. Rusty's been struggling here now. They're both level 6, but look at the CS difference already.
Well, actually, look, Cheezeroni's actually level 8 at this point. So, really putting the pressure on to Rusty in that middle lane. The Cougar form is available now, though, and as we just saw, able to pounce out of that never move. So that's really, really going to help as far as Rusty getting locked up is concerned.
Yeah, and this is just going to be a rough one for Rusty, I think. He needs to just try and keep that farm up as much as he can. Look for that middle game and late game for those spears, but, you know, you can really shut down an Italy with this matchup.
Yeah, and it's really working out so far. That being said, I mean, Italy not really wanting to...
Oh, there we go. Zahi pops the ultimate. T-Gun on the run. Stranglethorns will go down. Doesn't knock them both up. But wow, there's the kill coming out there onto T-Gun. Good little pick up there for Denian.
Yeah, Zahi finally coming down into this bottom lane as Prince has been focusing and manages to net them a kill as well. So now 3 on the side of your Soulshell Chuffer, and 2 of them being on Little Cutie Cheezeroni and 1 of them being on Denian as the AD carry. I mean, this is exactly where your Soulshell Chuffer want their kills, and they're going to make use of this by going for this dragon. And really intelligent rotation.
Yeah, they really need this dragon, but I think Prince might be able to steal this one. He has Lee Sin, he has a ward as well for the vision. Will he go for it? Spear will come in. And no, Prince won't go for it. It's Swain that picked it up as well, so there was a good
I wasn't
opportunity.
sure that he picked up Smite, but is able to do a fair bit of burst damage apparently on that Swain. So very nice work picking that one up. Prince not actually opting to go for anything, which is interesting. I mean, Lee Sin being one of the best Dragon Stealers in the game. I mean, you'd say it'd be him and Elise, but not opting for it, wanting to play it safe, not wanting to give away another kill, which that has merit in itself.
But the big thing here for these guys, I feel, is that before that Dragon, there was only a 200 gold difference despite the kill score. So that really just shows you that CS in the jungle, the top lane, and from AD carry there for Will2G, really making up for some of this gold lead that YSC has.
Yeah, and of course First Blood offering a little bit more as well. And that being said, Squiggle in this top lane really starting to put the pressure down again onto Jack Attack, doing a lot of damage.
And Jack Attack going for that Blade of the Ruined King first as well.
Yeah, and it looks fairly dangerous because he's just a little bit too squishy in order to deal with this giant spelt Chain Vest Shyvana, who's just able to tank up his damage and offer more back in return.
And that's the thing as well. I mean, if you're getting out DPS by a tank who is going full tank, you get into a very scary position.
Yeah, you really do. Nice back away here from Jack Attack. Sees Prince on the way up and not wanting to have a bar of it. That being said, this top turret in a lot of trouble. Already had a lot of damage.
Here comes Zahi though. T-Gun's out of position. Will they go for the fight? T-Gun already taking a lot of damage. That Boomerang Blade just chops him in half. Another kill there going to YSC.
Yeah, Zahi actually picking that one up when it did actually look like the Boomerang Blade was going to come through, and they're really making use of the fact that T-Gun's flash was down, and he's playing that Zara, who is notoriously squishy in that bottom lane.
Uh-oh, Rusty misses the spear. He has Prince on his side. Going to put down the Tempest, going to put down the Cripple. Nice flash by Cheese. He's out of mana, though. Hasn't popped the ulti. Spear will land. Prince wants the kill. Going for the Insect, and alley-oops him to Rusty. What a gank.
That was fantastic. Rusty baited him perfectly there, and then little cutie Cheeseroni just wasn't able to do enough damage to finish off a 1-for-1 trade. He knew he was dead, I'm pretty sure, did blow the flash, but there was no getting out of that one. And they're possibly going to be able to take another turret here. And Eviscerate really doing well to get around this map and take objectives when they need to.
Good answer from Prince as well, because we saw the bottom lane turret go down. On the Hunt was popped as well from Sivir to try and pick up some kills. They didn't find anything though, so it's a 1-for-1 tower trade. Blue buff going to be contested here though. Prince, Dragon's descent in from Squiggle. It's a 3v2 to start this one up. Rusty with the spears from behind, but here comes Jack Attack as well. This is not a good fight for Eviscerate. They're getting cleaned up. 2 members already dead, and T-Gun's now on the run. Oh, that was a great pillar, and T-Gun, he's going to get slaughtered as well. Will2G does manage to find a kill, pops himself back out to safety. It's a 3-for-1.
Yeah, really nice play there by T-Gun, though, managing to get that kill in response and saving Will2G's life by getting him that reset. That was beautiful, but such a cacophony of action here. And that spear was so close.
Yeah, just clipping that minion there. Denian didn't even pop the spell shield, so he didn't see it coming.
Yeah, and Jack Attack not actually having to blow his teleport either in order to get down to that fight. They figured that they'd be able to actually do this by themselves, and they took down Squiggle so early on, so that front line just wasn't there, that damage soak that they really wanted. And Little Cutie Cheeseroni managing to take back that turret as well, so evening out that. So really nice work.
I really feel like there was a bit of communication issue as well. I mean, Prince was kind of hovering around, didn't want to go in when we would have expected that Lee Sin to jump in straight away. And, you know, perhaps he was waiting for a couple of cooldowns there, but we saw Squiggle jump in all by himself. So it's going to be something to look out for, though, because Eviscerate need to make sure their front line are on the same page.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Zahi,
Squiggle over the top lane. Squiggle taking so much damage, it gets taken out as he flashes over the wall. Jack Attack turns it around. Yeah,
Jack Attack is at that point where he has that Blade of the Ruined King, and he's starting to turn this matchup around. I mean, it was only a matter of time for that to happen naturally. I mean, Trundle's so powerful in that late game in a 1v1 situation. That Chomp taking away from the AD that Squiggle does have on that Shyvana, unable to do as much damage. Really, really nice work, and that Chomp happening over the wall was very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, once that animation starts, you can't get rid of it. And Jack Attack has to be happy with how that turned out. He's pretty much even there on the CS as well, so he's pulling a big lead now. Zahi's rotated top as well, so this is going to be a tower going down. Prince will try and defend it, but he's all by himself. Cheeseroni's here as well. Prince is so dead here if he can't manage to escape it. He will go down. Cheeseroni just tanking that tower, doesn't even care.
Yeah, it does pick up tower aggro towards the end, but Zahi did a great amount of work in order to soak up that turret damage before he goes in and manages to pick up the final few kills. We do have a little bit of a pause here, but this game's so action-packed so far. It's really fantastic to see.
Yeah, and YSC really coming out all guns blazing here. 3-9 is the score in their favor, and building up a pretty good goal lead here as well. It's about 4,000 already.
Yeah, it's nothing to really write home about, though. And I mean, they have one turret lead. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, this game could easily go either way, but I've been so impressed by how YSC have been playing this one out. Having that rotational ability when Squiggle came down from the top lane in order to take that middle lane turret,
yeah,
but then
great.
Everyone collapsed from YSC, and they had the positional advantage because they were all together. And it was EV being a little bit separated that really cost them that team fight, and it was just beautiful to see on the side of YSC. Just seeing what happened, Squiggle came down, and then they all moved in order to retaliate. Just beautiful work and beautiful communication.
All right, so pause has resumed. We are going right back into the game.
Yeah, they are going to be able to take down that top turret as well, as we just saw. But this inner turret in the mid lane going down, Denian and Flying Do doing a lot of work.
Well, Will2G in from the side as well as T-Gun. They're not going to find anything, though, just for the defense.
Yeah, and have a look at T-Gun's items as well. Has those Sorcerer's Shoes and the Frostfang, really opting to go for that damage on this Zyra. And I definitely like that. I'm a big fan of Zyra in the middle lane. But I'm not sure how it works in support. We'll see whether T-Gun can manage to stay alive in these fights in order to utilize that little bit of extra damage.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure, right there. And I mean, him and Will2G have done fairly well in their lane. They're up CS, and Will2G's picked himself up 2 kills as well for no deaths. And so items between the AD carries are pretty much even here. So it's been a fairly close bottom side of the map.
Yeah, that's really true. And Will2G opting to go for that Bloodthirster as well first on this Tristana. Tristana's generally, as far as history goes, want to build that Infinity Edge as quickly as possible because they're incredibly reliant on their auto attacks. I mean, with that passive, the scaling range, they want to be sitting in the backline and just shooting all the time. That Blade of the Ruin King, also a really popular item on that Tristana, but the Bloodthirster coming out here for a little bit of extra AD and, of course, extra lifesteal as well, which is really going to help in these long, drawn-out fights.
All right, so Dragon is sporting here. Spear's not going to find. On the hunt has been popped. T-Gun's on the run. Prince decides to go in just for the defense for now. Spear just falling short again, so 2 Spears missing there, but they've baited out the Sivir ultimate.
Yeah, Flying Drew taking a spear there, though, taking about a third of his health. Really
Teleport
nice
in,
work.
though. Jack Attack is going to join this fight. Are they going to go for it? Pillar will go down. There's the Sorrow's Embrace coming out from Zahi. Nice Wild Growth as well. Knocks up 2. Prince looking for the kills. Jack Attack will go down. Squiggle zoning out 3 members of YSC all by himself in the back line there. Zahi is still healthy. Will2G all by himself. He just gets slaughtered. Couldn't get out of that one. And this will be the Dragon.
Really nice. YSC really making use of the fact that they have so much consistent damage in these team fights. The spears are still available, though. Everyone's in a lot of danger.
Yeah, Spear's almost going down there. Zahi with a nice bite. Oh, Prince gets caught and cheeses straight over the wall right there. Rusty's in trouble now as well. He just wants to clean this one up. He's got a red buff as well. Getting those auto attacks out. Won't find it, though. But that is a huge lead there picked up by YSC.
Yeah, little cutie Cheeseroni is so aggressive on this Swain. Just knew that he could flash over and pick up that kill, and everyone's so low. This is just must be so frustrating for Rusty. It's just 1 spear apiece for any of these guys, unable to actually pick up those kills, though. So really upsetting on the side of Eviscerate, and they need to start getting a few more of those skill shots landed, those spears landed in these team fights in order to utilize their damage, because otherwise YSC is just going to wreck them in all these team fights.
That's right, and it's all coming down to the pressure that little cutie Cheeseroni put onto Rusty in the early game. It's really thrown him off that confidence that he would have gone into this game with. It's now a 6,000 gold lead as well for YSC.
Yeah, 13 kills to 4. I mean, on the top of the screen for these players, it's really going to look one-sided, despite the fact that they can't see the amount of gold. So it's going to be really demoralizing on the side of Eviscerate. And as we were saying, they're a momentum-based team. Hopefully they can stay in this and really try and bring it into the late game.
One guy to watch out for here is going to be T-Gun. He's had a pretty rough game, and we kind of talked about how he's the more emotional guy from EV. Currently 0-4-3, and that's got to be a little bit unsettling.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We'll see whether it's going to affect him during this game. I mean, he has had some really nice Stranglethorns in that last fight. The Stranglethorn placement was really good.
It was.
It just wasn't enough in order to keep them into this fight, and Jack Attack soaked so much damage at the start of it as well. Both him and Squiggle really doing well on the front line for their teams.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just Will2G right now who's having a great game. 3-1-0. He's going to be the saving grace for EV if they want to try and pull this one back in. I guess that's the one good thing going for EV right here is that Will2G is looking strong.
Yeah, and the fact that he's looking strong really bodes well for their late game as well, because Tristana, known for that, as we've been harping on about quite a lot, but I mean, it can't be understated. Sivir also not as fantastic, a little bit more of an on-the-hunt bot in the later stages of this game. Doesn't quite have the scaling, the auto attack scaling that a Tristana has with the extra range, and of course that rapid fire, giving us so much attack speed.
And that's what Will2G was actually speaking about before the game. If you asked him, he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to pick Tristana, I'm going to max Q, and I'm just going to steamroll towers down.
Yeah, that's exactly true. And that's what we want to see from him. We want to see him to be able to get in and get these turrets down and rotate around the map accordingly.
So, what's next for EV is the question. Probably this blue buff here. Squiggle has spotted it out, but I don't think they want to fight that. Denian eating a big spear there, though.
Yeah, and Squiggle is a little bit out of position here as well. If YSC want to start a fight, I mean, they're at fairly high health, of course. Denian a little bit low, but oh, there it is.
Prince not quite engaging off that one. Just needs to be careful. Great pillar as well, making sure the rest of the team can't follow up.
And little cutie Cheezeroni is really far forward right now.
Going for the damage there on Rusty. Oh, he gets kicked back in right into the Zhonya's. His ultimate's healing him up as well. This is actually great for Cheezeroni. Look at the knock up there as well coming out of EV. It's going to be enough. They pick up a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1 Squiggle for Cheezeroni, but that is not great for YSC. That's a lot of gold going to the side of EV.
And as the minions pour in, Rusty won't be able to get these spears off either. So YSC pick up the tower there, and they look like they want to go for more. Are they going to back off? I think they will.
Yeah, and EV wants to try and get a few of those parting spears when they're leaving, but unable to make any of those connect. And YSC really intelligently backing off here because they do not want to stay and risk taking a lot of these spears to the face and throwing away kills.
And we talked about, you know, T-Gun perhaps maybe going on tilt, and his ultimate in that last fight is proof that he is not, because it hit every single member of YSC. It was a fantastic play from him.
Yeah, and that actually got little Cheezeroni out of that fight as well. That caused him to die. He got knocked up and then couldn't escape all of the extra damage. And that's a problem with Swain. He's not that mobile. He's now back on the map. We'll see whether he can do anything. But the Zhonya's coming out from him was fantastic, and that definitely spelled death for Squiggle. So you can't say too much negative things here about little cutie Cheezeroni because he's just playing really aggressively, and he's been showing that it's been working. 5-2-2 on that champion now, and has a 40 CS lead in the middle lane as well.
Yeah, so I think this is a late tier as well coming out of Rusty.
No, he built that one up pretty early on.
Okay, so looked like he just picked that one up, but no, he's gone for the Morello Nomicon though, so he's going for a lot of cooldown reduction here, getting the Seraph's Embrace next as well so he can get some defense alongside that cooldown reduction. So a good build for Rusty, I like it.
I very much like the Morello Nomicon for the passive as well, able to stop little cutie Cheezeroni from healing too much after he does go below that 40% mark. Really intelligent work. If he lands a spear on little cutie Cheezeroni, that Ravenous Flock isn't going to be able to heal him back up again, which is what he's going to be relying on. And if he pops that Zhonya's in the middle of a fight after he's been hit by Rusty, it's not going to be healing him for the amount that he wants it to.
And this seems like a pretty appropriate time, but did you know, Atlas, that auto attacks with Spell Thief's Edge will actually proc the Morello Nomicon as well? Spell Thief's Edge being the passive in the offensive mastery tree.
Oh, of course. Oh,
or Spellblade.
Yeah, Spellblade.
That's the one. My bad.
I did not know that.
So there you go. That actually procs the Morello Nomicon, can make sure that even your auto attack stop little cutie Cheezeroni healing up once he falls below that 50% mark.
And you would think that Rusty would expect into that one as Nidalee regardless.
Yep.
So intelligent moves there, and I wasn't.
Oh, nice snare, nice flash. T-Gun. That was risky though.
That was a smart flash though. It was. He wasn't getting out of that one. If he had have actually been caught in that never move, he was never moving. He was going to be dead.
Yeah. Thing is, though, he had a ward there, so there was no reason for him to do that. That basically means he just wasted his flash. So a little bit unfortunate on his side, and not too sure what he was really going for.
Yeah, wanting to get some vision back on this map. They have a few wards, but none in their jungle, and it seems to me like YSC just have entire control over this. And they're going to be able to get this dragon. Look at little cute Cheezeroni just standing here wanting to get aggressive as soon as possible.
Will he catch Rusty, though? There are no wards seeing out Cheezeroni, so Rusty was in a little bit of danger walking through there, but he gets out all right. YSC, what's next for them now? They picked up the dragon, and they're looking super strong.
Yeah, they're wanting to push out these lanes. I mean, look at the creeps. They're coming in through onto that inner turret in the mid lane, and I think what they want to do is pressuring a fight around Baron. Their team fight has been fantastic throughout this game, and either just go for that Baron straight out, and then rely on the fact that EV are going to be too scared to engage, or bait it and wait for EV to come and face check and see whether they can take that. Jack Attack is actually putting a ward over here, so we'll see whether they decide to go for it. They are posturing around, but maybe they just want to push.
Well, we'll wait and see here. Teleport is available for Jack Attack if he wants to split, go for a split push there, but looks like they want to play it out 5v5. Denian already at the front of the pack right here. He's feeling confident, just sidesteps out of all that damage, pops the Spell Shield as well. Are they going to engage, or are they just going to see?
Oh, a spear coming through. They do not want to siege for too long. If any of these spears hit their mark for too many times, I mean, they're going to either lose someone or be too low in order to team fight here. So YSC really don't want to be caught in that siege situation against this Nidalee, who does have that Seraph's Embrace actually finished up now. And going to be doing a lot of damage. Rusty's quite scary. Even though it looks like he's been having this terrible game, those spears are still going to be hurting.
Yeah, I agree there. And Little Cutie Cheeseroni as well, the opposite mid lane there for YSC. I don't think I've appreciated it enough until then, but the on the hunt from Siva is going to make him so fast. He's going to be able to get into the back line.
Yeah, that's something I overlooked as well.
Going to be able to get into the back line of Eviscerate really easily and get a lot of damage off.
And Evelynn as well on that fact. She has her speed up ability in her W, and that's only going to be emphasized by On the Hunt. So all of these champions, I mean, the Frozen Ground as well from Jack Attack on his Trundle, that's also a speed buff for him. So everyone on their team has an ability to make themselves really fast, and Siva also makes everybody else fast as well. So really going for that movement speed, and it's been working out so well this game.
All right, so important shift in momentum here. Rusty manages to get his blue buff. That's been stolen away from him a couple of times now by YSC. So this is a big change. EV now have a buffed up Nidalee, so they're going to have a lot more potential to poke.
Yeah, that's true. So hopefully they're going to be able to get into one of those situations where she's able to, though. That's what's going to be really hard.
Alrighty, so another quick pause coming out for all these guys, and let's talk about how these junglers have gone. I mean, we're definitely into the mid-game now, and what we saw in the picks and bans were 3 junglers banned from Eviscerate.
Oh, yeah, 3 from Eviscerate, and Elise banned out on the side of your Soulshell Chuffer as well. So
yeah,
that's 4 taken off the table, but these junglers have been doing so well, and we can harp on about Zahi, but Prince did fantastically in that early game as well. So really, both of these junglers coming through for their teams. And Zahi, when it looked like he wasn't doing as well, after that first blood came through, it looked like, you know, he'd failed his gank in the mid lane, and Prince had done really, really well in that bottom lane. But so far after that, Zahi just punishing that bottom lane and then coming back after the flash was down on T side and killing him again. Really, really smart play and making use of the fact that they knew the timer on that summoner spell.
Alrighty, so back into the game here. What is the next play? Pink ward's going to be coming down here for YSC, clearing out a couple of wards, maintaining that Baron control. Don't think EV are going to be able to stop them if they want to go for a Baron, but the question is, where will the fight start?
Oh, there's a bit of a pincer going on here by YSC.
Zahi coming in from the side. Nice ultimate from T-Gun makes the rest of YSC second check that engage, but it will be the death on T-Gun right there. Prince jumping out as well. Will2G has been caught as well, flashed into the base, does manage to survive that. Squiggle flying to defend against Cheeseroni, but all of the members of EV are falling here. 3 already dead, and YSC coming out huge in that fight.
Yeah, the 2 tanky members of EV still alive, but they do not have the damage in order to fight this, and having Little Cutie Cheeseroni alive, he is out of health a little bit here, but he's Swain. He doesn't care about being out of health because he can just Ravenous block it all back up again, as you can see.
Yeah, and he's got that blue buff as well, so he's going to be maintaining that mana. Oh, nice Sonya's. That was super clutch there. Keeps him alive. Baits out a kill as well.
Yeah, and they managed to take down this inhibitor turret. This is going to be an inhibitor going down on the side of YSC, and they are in so much control of this game. Really, really good execution.
And EV can't even do anything off the back of that one. They're going to lose all of that after that team fight, and YSC continuing to build their lead almost at 10,000 now.
Yeah, this is almost a free Baron at this point here for YSC. Almost at 10,000 gold in the lead, and look, it's glowing red in the blue side jungle here for Eviscerate. They're just not going to be able to get through without being seen. This Baron is basically free after YSC is backed. One thing I'd like to mention about that last team fight, though, we were punishing Denny, and we were saying that he was making bad decisions by flashing forward on that Ashe in his last series of games. He flashed forward on his Siva in that team fight and wrecked everything. So his aggressive playstyle really paying off because they have this lead, and he just is ruthless on every champion he plays.
And he's now at 3 out of 0 on his 80 carry as well, so building up a lot of that damage. Flying Jew as well, supporting him phenomenally here. 3-0 and 9 is an impressive score there for Flying Jew.
Yeah, and there's so much kill participation here as well coming out from everyone. I mean, you've got 4 kills, 10 assists on the side of Zahi, 3 and 8 on Denian, and 3 and 9 on Flying Jew. They're all moving around the map together and picking up the kills as a team. It's really fantastic to see.
So EV slowly losing this battle here.
Oh, Squiggle in trouble in this top lane.
Base. Oh, I think he's safe.
He's just going to wander around as a dragon in no man's land, but
You see,
They're not pressuring the Baron.
the thing about Squiggle here, though, is if the rest of YSC chase him, they're going to have to burn a lot to try and catch him. They're going to be wasting time, so it's not even worth the kill at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true. And Squiggle are going to get a free back, but they don't mind. They have the positional advantage here on the side of YSC. Wave clear coming through, being fairly effective.
Spear does land, though. Danian needs to be careful where he uses that spell shield.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so this will be the siege. On the hunt has been popped. It'll be the engage. Pillar comes through as well. Zahi so deep in the fight. Nice wild growth. Brilliant engage from YSC. And Zahi is just a monster. Hasn't gone down just yet. Will2G finally finds it. Little cutie Cheezeroni all by himself. This is going to be rough for him. Will he get out? Will2G just standing there, melting down YSC. And this is looking promising for EV. 1 for 2.
Yeah, they lose the turret, but they do go 2 for 1 in this exchange. EV finally managing to take a teamfight advantage. Not able to follow through and get any extra kills on the side of YSC, but this is definitely showing that Will2G is starting to scale into this game.
And that is exactly what he wanted. He maxed that Q first as well, so now he's level 15, he's got a max Q, maxed R, and he's ready to fight. Well, not quite maxed R.
And
One more level.
He's got 3 more levels until that range is also maxed out as well, so the dive potential coming out from YSC not quite as effective on a Tristana that can shoot from so far away. And with those 3 items, with the Last Whisper, the Static Shiv, and the Bloodthirster completed, I mean, that's a lot of damage on the auto attacks. One thing I'd like to see, though, is T-Gun finishing an item. He has the Horning Guys, the Fiendish Codex, and the, of course, Athene's Unholy Grail coming through. He needs to start freeing up some slots so he can buy some more pink wards. Everyone needs to be buying these wards around the map so that they can start getting this vision back. I mean, they have a few in the top side. They do have some vision on Baron, but they've got to start getting a little bit more aggressive with their warding. Otherwise, they're going to get pinned into their base, as has been happening throughout this game.
Yeah, and I feel this is starting to look more and more like YSC are struggling to close out the game. They've still got that Baron control, but if EV managed to pull off that ward control, like you said, I think this one will really start to turn around.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of champions that do well in the later sides of this game. I mean, Zyra's always fantastic throughout all stages of this game. Nidalee also, I mean, when those spears start to do excessive damage, I mean, of course, after that, Rabadon's Deathcap and potentially a Void Staff get finished up, Rusty's going to be chunking people with that. And they're going to have the mobility. And this is a full tank Shyvana as well. I mean, on the front line, even after Subjugate, it's going to be very difficult to kill that Shyvana.
All right, so 31 minutes in, YSC grouping up to this middle lane. Gonna have to wait for Cheezeroni though, he's just gone base.
Yeah, once he gets back, I'd expect them to go for this Baron and try and close out this game, because I think that that's the decision that they want to make. They don't want to be necessarily sieging a turret without that extra regen, because it's going to be hard to stave off all these spears, and it's very hard for them to have creeps there because of Will2G's explosive shot and the amount of wave clear that that inherently has, just because it is going to kill all the minions around it as well.
And the thing is, you know, YSC can't even dive here because Cheezeroni's in a bit of a damage slump. He needs that Void Staff to really push him into that late game status. And until then, I feel like EV have a really good chance at this game.
Yeah, well, it's still going to be really difficult for them. They are still down 10,000 gold.
Oh, nice pillar. This will be the engaged Jack attack. Look at the damage on T-Gun already. He's in big trouble. Cheezeroni taking a lot as well already. Below half health, and he's not getting the heals that he wanted. Morellonomicon doing big work, but Squiggle will go down. Prince on the run as well. Look at Sivir just melting everyone, and YSC picks up 2 kills.
And the important part is that Will2G is now dead. So much of that DPS on the side of Eviscerate is not available, and they're going to be able to peel off this, potentially go and get a Baron, or push around and get another one of these turrets. Little Cutie Cheezeroni was instrumental in that, flashing forward, getting the Torment and the Laser Bird down onto Will2G, and then Zhonyaing, and then being saved by the Wild Growth on top of that. Just really, really nice work, and they orchestrated how to really succeed in that team fight.
And here we go, Baron will go down here. No contest from Eviscerate, as you would expect. And YSC, they've now got everything to win out this game. 7-21 is the score, and an impressive 6-3 towers there.
Yeah, 12,000 gold is the lead. YSC still need to close out this game, though, and we've been saying they need to be able to finish it off. Otherwise, they get to that ultra late game stage, and then everyone is on even footing. So they've got to make use of the fact that they have this gigantic lead, and now that they have Baron, I think that they're going to be able to. Whether they push straight down mid and just try and end the game, or whether they decide to go and take one of the side lane turrets and really end it tutorial style is something we'll yet to see.
So we haven't seen Jack Attack use his teleport much this game, so I'd like to see that textbook finish where, you know, they split Jack Attack, they say, hey, go push out that bot lane, put some pressure down, while the rest of YSC pressure top, and then use that teleport to engage the fights. I feel YSC can survive long enough, have the mobility to make it happen.
In trouble.
He's going to flash, does manage to escape that never move, ultimate as well, the Buster Shot used from Will2G, but T-Gun, very close call.
Yeah, really close call, making use of the extra health that he has picked up in a couple of his items, but otherwise just got obliterated. That was just Torment and the Laser Bird on top of that. The Ignite wasn't available there by Little Cutie Cheezeroni. So that's so much damage coming down just from pretty much dot damage.
So Spears not going to be enough in this game. Rusty 1, 3, and 5 has that Seraph's Embrace, but needs the Void Stuff if he wants to keep that damage up right here. Question is, can Eviscerate defend this one?
Yeah, the Resonating Strike into the safeguard there by Prince, doing some fancy footwork in order to stay a little bit safe, but it's going to be very hard for Eviscerate at this point. I can't see them being able to defend this turret for long.
Oh man, Jack Attack as well. Look at his positioning. He's just ready to fight this.
Yeah, he's got his baseball bat in hand, dodging out that spear as well really nicely.
Yep. Well, here we go.
On the hunt,
Will this be the home run? Zahi going for it. He gets Wild Growth as well. Look how fast he's going into this fight. Will2G in big trouble. One shot by Denny, and that is insane right there. Spear's not going to do enough as well. That's a double kill, and that is surely going to be the game here for YSC, melting down the base.
Yeah, only 2 members alive on the side of Eviscerate, going to be very hard for them. And the surrender vote does come through. Zahi screaming into that team fight and making use of this incredible movement speed comp. And this is something different. YSC really love their team fight synergy, and they've shown it again, but so differently this time.
YSC, probably the only team here at the regionals that you never know what to expect from them going into a match. Always hard to pick them out, and what an impressive game one for them.
Yeah, it was really, really nice work. And the one thing you can expect is, even though the picks may be different, they are always going to have coordination and synergy between their champions. And it's really nice to see that they've done so much research in getting the right picks. But I cannot wait for Game 2 plays.
Yeah, and Eviscerate focused a lot of bans on that jungle. What are we expecting in game number 2?
I'd like to see a ban on that Swain. I mean, I'll take that back. I wouldn't like to see it, but if Eviscerate want to stay in this game, I mean, they had so much trouble dealing with Little Cutie Cheezeroni. I think that'd definitely be a priority ban, and it'd just be hilarious to see Swain banned out.
All right then, so game 2 will be coming up soon, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game with the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer. Life comes to games like never before.
And welcome back, guys. Game 2 is going to be coming up right now with Eviscerate and YSSC. YSSC taking Game 1 here as well, so impressive start for them, and this is an elimination match as well.
Yeah, there's so much on the line here. I mean, one of these teams not going to be able to go forward, going to be knocked out of the round of 8 here for Autumn, and the last chance is going to be trying to qualify in for that winter spot, and that's not what they want to be giving up. They want to be going to Supernova and managing to really secure a spot in Australian or Oceanic League of Legends history.
Alrighty, so Will2G as well. I mean, we talked about him coming back to the starting roster here for Eviscerate, and he had a pretty good game, but the rest of his team definitely struggled there. So, what are we expecting to shift around?
Well, I don't think we're going to see potentially the Tristana pick again. I mean, I don't think it quite worked, even though they got the best start possible for that Tristana. It just wasn't enough impact towards the later sides of that game, and admittedly, not necessarily the problem, but I think a different pick may have worked a little bit better in that situation. Okay. They had a little bit more siege potential if they had picked up perhaps a Lucian and could have put perhaps a little bit more pressure down, but YSSC had so much pressure on that map from so early on, there wasn't any opportunities to siege. So we'll have to see. Might actually opt to go for that one again, but I would definitely like to see a Swain ban, as I've said before. But other than that, I mean, YSC looked so strong regardless.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I mean, talking about that Swain ban as well, if we do see it coming out here, of course, we saw 3 jungle bans from Eviscerate in game number 1, which is probably the most jungle bans I think we've ever seen from a team, or the most so far in the regionals. Probably 1 ban is the closest we've ever had, but I mean, that's some big talk there coming from Eviscerate. And why do you think they were opting for that?
Well, I mean, they just really wanted to calm down Zahi and not let him be that really impactful jungler that they've been seeing.
Yeah.
And things like Wukong and Vi, I mean, they were really utilized in that thing.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at our featured player for this match. It's going to be Little Cutie Cheesaroni, and well so with that Swain. 2 out of his last 3 picks there, and Rusty as well. Rusty's stats, such a consistent player. 3, 3, and 3 there.
Yep, 3 across the board.
And an interesting array of champions as well. The Kennen just slipping in there as the last pick up there. The Nidalee, as we've seen him play a lot, and the Ziggs, definitely known for those 2 champs, but the Kennen one's a little bit odd.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Kennen, though. I mean, he played that a lot, but just because he has that ability to teamfight. I mean, loving that Orianna as well. Not actually on the list, but for those teamfights, the Slicing Maelstrom and the Shockwave working a little bit similarly. Of course, Slicing Maelstrom a little bit more YOLO, having to get in amongst the fights a little bit more, but does play into his playstyle, and he did play a lot of that. He also played a lot in the top lane as well, did old Rusty, and he's just been around the traps so much that he has so many champions in his pool. You can't really look back on that list and say, oh, these are the champions that he plays, because he basically plays everything.
Yeah, and same as Cutie Cheesaroni. I mean, he's picked up Swain so many times now in the regionals. I think if you include his qualifying games as well, he's picked it up 4 times now. So that's very impressive from him. Champ Select's coming up in a moment, so I'm interested to see the bans. I feel that's where we'll see a lot change from game number 1. And let's go. At least going to be the first ban by YSC, repeating what they did in game number 1.
Yeah, but able to do it first up here. And they're going to be blue side, so they're going to have the opportunity for first pick. So if Eviscerate really want to change up their bans here and ban things like Swain and things that really worked well on the side of YSC, they're possibly going to let something like a Kassadin through, something like a LeBlanc through that Little Cutie Cheesaroni can just jump onto and dominate people with. Because people think of him as a Swain player now. The last 3 games that he played, he's been playing that Swain, and that Ziggs was also an option there, but that could potentially be banned out, so we're not entirely sure what's going to happen. But
alrighty,
EV sticking with their current banning system, going to take away that vibe.
So don't want Zahi playing that one, and it's fair enough. I mean, Zahi is such an aggressive jungler there. I'm kind of surprised that Eviscerate, or YSC rather, are banning that at least. If they're kind of maybe expecting 3 jungle bans here for EV, they can try and get that at least instead as the blue side, so you know, Zahi really loves that Elise as well, so it would make sense, but we'll see. LeBlanc going to be banned out against Rusty, which is also a bit odd because Rusty definitely not one of those assassin players.
No, he's not one of those players that does like to opt for the LeBlanc. I mean, that could be against T-Gun. I mean, it is an aggressive support decision as well. I mean, and something that Oceanic players have been talking about a little bit recently. I know Smiley Face on the side of Avant Garde Redemption recently tweeted about it, saying how the heck are you supposed to play against a support LeBlanc because it's so much damage. But, I mean, that's a little bit speculation here. And the Kassadin ban coming through as well, and they are on the blue side. So Little Cutie Cheeseroni not wanting to play that even if it is accidentally left up.
Yeah, so Little Cutie Cheeseroni, maybe not one of those assassin plays either, so it makes sense there. 3 jungle bans are going to be coming out, though, for EV. Taking out the Evelynn, so that was one of the jungle bans they didn't ban out in game number 1, and Zahi ended up doing pretty well on it, so I guess that one makes sense. But Lulu going to be the first lock in there for YSC.
Yeah, absolutely same bans here as well. Wukong being substituted for the Evelynn. So we'll see whether Zahi decides to pick that one up. I mean, EV have a chance here now to pick that one up, but they do have access to this Sivir, and they're going to lock that one in straight away. Yeah,
and they don't want to be giving that Lulu Sivir combination back over to YSC. I mean, Denian was just brutal on that Sivir, so maybe this is Will2G's chance to shine. He's not going to be on that Tristana like last game. And, what do you reckon the next pick is going to be? They hover the Olaf for a bit, Kha'Zix as well.
Yeah, Prince has actually a fantastic record in solo queue on that Olaf. Does have a really impressive score. Hasn't played the Kha'Zix as much, but I've seen that in his record as well. And Kha'Zix so strong in that jungle, and getting those resets is really important. And with On the Hunt, it's going to make it a little bit easier for him as well. We'll see how they decide to make this happen. It also could be going on the side of Rusty, but as we were saying, Kha'Zix not necessarily a mid lane champion that Rusty likes to play.
Yeah, so perhaps, YSC will see that and they'll pick accordingly because, that's going to leave a lot of options for them still in that middle lane if they know that Kha'Zix won't be there, but in the jungle as well. So let's see, next 2 picks here. I would expect an AD carry pickup now, a support, what am I even saying? I'm just getting lost here. I would expect a jungle pickup now as well that they've seen that Kha'Zix, considering they know the Kha'Zix will be in the jungle as well.
Yeah, they don't necessarily know. Zahi's going to insta-lock that Wukong though. Got through the bans this time because they did opt to ban something else, and Jack Attack really comfortable on that Trundle as well, not wanting to go for his Rumble, which was really fantastic to watch. Even though they didn't necessarily go so well in the first week, he played that Rumble so incredibly well. Rusty hovering over the Katarina here.
Okay, so that's very interesting coming from Rusty. I was going to say as well, the Wukong was played by Juve from Avant Ascension in week number 1. Wasn't too successful, but I'm interested to see how Zahi goes on it. But okay, Blitzcrank Hover now. We've got to talk about that one from T-Gun, because T-Gun should just rename himself to T-Hook, because this Blitz is awesome from him.
Yeah, and he basically has a magnet on the end of that hook that makes people walk into it. He has about an 80% hit rate on that hook, and he throws them out all the time. Yeah, it's a bit of a random stat because it's not one that we can actually get. There is hooks potential on that Thresh as well, so T-Gun going to be throwing out hooks regardless.
Alrighty, and Will2G locking in that Jax for top lane as well. So Squiggle on an aggressive champion, and we're just going to see a lot of aggression this game coming out for EV here. Very mobile as well. This is looking scary here for YSC.
Yeah, and as soon as a team locks in that Sivir, they often opt for these champions that really like to get around a team fight. Jax is definitely one of those as well, and he's just going to want to leap onto people's faces and just be able to follow them down. Having that passive attack speed as well means that the faster he moves, the faster he's going to be able to get those auto attacks off at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And Squiggle is definitely a Jax player. I mean, he plays all of the top laners that are pretty current. Of course, you've got Renekton,
it's in his top
Shyvana.
3 solo queue plays.
Yeah, it's in his top 3, and you'd think that the top 3 would be Mundo, Shyvana, and Renekton, as is for everyone, but does have that Jax in there, up above that Mundo, so it's good to see that happen. T-Gun hovering over the revive teleport. Heimerdinger probably not going to be happening.
Yeah, got a small feeling about that one. It's kind of surprising, though, that T-Gun didn't actually draw any bans. I mean...
Oh, and... Yeah? We forgot to have a look at YSC, and the Swain has been locked in again.
Oh, okay, so... Cheeseroni is just going to be doing a lot of work in that mid lane again, I would expect. Syndra is the pickup from Rusty, so definitely along the lines of his farming champions. I mean, the poke and the farm definitely there with Syndra as well, so it makes a lot of sense. And I feel it's going to be a bit easier for him on that Syndra than that Nidalee.
Wow, this is really intelligent here from Rusty. He's wanting to go for a heavy burst champion. I mean, as soon as you've got that unleashed power on that Syndra, level 6, you just burst someone down instantly, and that Ravenous Flock doesn't have a chance to heal Little Cutie Cheeseroni back up. So if Rusty can get enough creep score and enough money in that lane in order to build up a DFG really quite quickly, Little Cutie Cheeseroni is going to stand no chance until he gets that Zhonya's in order to withstand this damage. I think I really, really like this pickup.
And it's going to be much stronger in general. I mean, the synergy with the rest of his team is fantastic. Syndra going to get that speed from Sivir, move up into the fight to try and pick off someone in the backline, and then still have that speed to get back out. So a lot of synergy actually here for Eviscerate, which is what you would expect, but it's good to highlight as well.
Yeah, Scatter the Weak works really well against Zahi on this Wukong as well. Is able to knock him out of the way when that that Cyclone comes through, and that's going to be fantastically useful on that side. But Denian going for this Lucian as well, and they've got basically the same team comp. It's very, very similar. I mean, Agony's Embrace and Cyclone are very different, I guess, but they do the same thing. I mean, it's AoE CC and AoE damage, and Wukong's going to offer a similar thing. I mean, he's going to be a little bit more head first, build a little bit more tanky, but I think that the team comp's going to work in a similar fashion, but without the Sivir. And we'll see how they go trying to make up for the lack of On the Hunt in this team comp.
And I feel the big thing here, though, is, I mean, they've picked up the Lucian, so it's not going to be as a quick team fight, but it still will be explosive because the one big thing here for YSC is they won't be able to chase as much. Swain is a very slow champion, and the only reason we didn't see that in the last game was because they had a Sivir. So this is going to be actually a big point to look out for in the middle game, and I would expect EV to try and capitalize on that with Dragon Control earlier on.
Yeah, we're not going to be seeing as many of those really fast Swain flash forward into the Never move and stopping the AD carry. I mean, that's just not going to be likely this game. So, yeah. Oh, pardon me. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to be able to do to try and make up for that loss, but hopefully they're going to be able to make something happen because it's going to be very difficult. Look at all of the damage coming out from Eviscerate. They have Kha'Zix, Jax, Syndra, and they've also got the massive boomerangs coming out from Will2G, and then the really amazing team fight CC support coming from Thresh, who's sort of the master of initiation and teamfight control with that box as well. I mean, he's a fantastic all-round support. I'm really liking the team comp here from Eviscerate, and I just don't think that YSC is necessarily going to have the tools to do what they did last game.
Yeah, and one thing, though, that we do need to consider when we talk about Thresh locking up these fights is obviously Jack Attack's got a lot of tenacity with his W there on Trundle, and Lucian can Reckless Pursuit out of that as well. So those are two very key figures here for YSC that can break out of this fight coming out of EV. So,
oh, and another thing to mention as well is the leap being used here by Prince in order to get those resets around this fight is going to be nullified a little bit by the wild growth coming out from Flying Dew. And having that opportunity there to give that extra health to avoid having this Kha'Zix run around and wreak havoc getting those resets on the leap is really, really important.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, because Prince picked the Kha'Zix into the Lulu. Lulu was the first pick there for YSC, so maybe not considering that one as much as they would have liked, or perhaps Prince just thinks he's going to be fine anyway. I mean, it's not going to be an AP Lulu, so the health is nowhere near as much as you might or you may have expected or not. It's a little bit touchy how you want to think about that one, but I think Prince is still going to be doing well here. What are we expecting him to evolve first, though?
It's possibly the leap. Not as often are they going to be evolving the Q now, just because it was slightly nerfed. I mean, not going to be doing quite as much damage on that, and the leap really does give you a lot more advantages in sort of those early game team fights, and just tower dives under the turret. I mean, you can leap in from much further away, finish off those low health targets, and then leap straight back out again and not take too much turret damage. Yeah,
and that makes sense as well. I mean, we're on patch 4.3 here as well, so his Q evolution did get a little bit of a nerf there. So, I mean, Prince's still going to be very strong on that Kha'Zix, but going for that mobility rather than that raw damage.
Yeah, and a lot of people opting to evolve different things now as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
We've been seeing people evolving that ultimate actually first. I'm not sure whether that was a misclick by whoever it was that was utilizing that one, but that's been happening in competitive play. I mean, Alex Ich leveled the W first, like very, very old Kha'Zix, built a tier and also into a Manamune and things like the Elder Lizard. So there's lots of different options now coming through for Kha'Zix, and we'll see what Prince decides to do coming out of that jungle. The top lane we haven't really spoken about, and Squiggle's going to have a lot more scaling potential now on that Jax, and a lot less susceptibility to that Subjugate, because he's going to be building a lot more damage on Jax. You don't necessarily need to build those tanky stats that a Shyvana would want. I mean, the ultimate coming out from Squiggle is going to give him a lot of those tanky stats, and that's going to be an opportunity for that Subjugate to come down. But all in all, Trundle's going to fare a lot less in this lane in the later stages than he would have otherwise against a Shyvana.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we looked at their last matchup, Shyvana, we mentioned, was doing a lot of damage but building full tank. And at the end of the day, that full tank build became Trundle's with that Subjugate. So it's kind of interesting to see here. But one thing you need to consider as well is that Trundle's Q, which he gets a lot of his damage
That's
from,
true.
won't get blocked from the Counter-Strike. But here we go. Game number 2's coming up. Let's do it. And we are onto the Rift here for game number 2. Will it be a defensive start? EV already grouping up here, so this one may be a little bit more interesting, Atlas. I'm already pumped.
Of course you are. The definite advocate for the non-defensive start here. Flying Jew, a little bit tentative, and rightly so, because T-Gun is waiting with Hook at the ready, and he is an aggressive player. Does have that Ruby Crystal for the extra health too.
Oh, man. There are no wards, though, so no one can see Flying Jew just yet. And if he does get spotted, the rest of EV will be spotted as well. So very precarious position right here. Are they going to go? They're going to go for it. Is the hook going to come out, though? I don't think so. Oh, they didn't even flash for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been T-Gun flying at Jew, and that's...
Okay. I don't know if I can pay that one.
I was trying to go for it, but it didn't quite work out in the end. I think I might just have to quit puns forever.
Yeah. So I think last week we talked about Flying Jew being one of the most known Thresh players, but I think T-Gun takes the cake for that one as well. So I'm pretty excited to see how he goes in this bottom lane. Will2G on Sivir is something I haven't seen in a while, though. He's very well known for his Lucian play, just like Radier is from Immunity. So it's an interesting combination, but Thresh and Sivir at the heart of it is so strong.
Yeah, and I think that Sivir pick was more of a pick away from YSC because it does take out the massive portion of their team fight potential from last game and made them really rethink their decision. So I like that pickup. We'll see whether Will2G also has mastery of that champion as well.
Alrighty, so blue going to be started here for Prince.
So both junglers starting at their blue buffs, going to be ending up on different sides of the map, as you would think, after they finish off their reds. And it's going to put Zahi closer to this bottom lane, which could be an opportunity for Denny and Flying Jew to really put pressure on down here. And putting pressure on T-Gun and Will2G is really, really intelligent because they were so aggressive early on in the last game. They know that that could be a potential area of weakness just for aggressive play and potential overextension.
Alrighty, so overall, I mean, what are we expecting from the early game here? Last time it was fairly explosive. We saw a lot of ganks from these junglers. So this time around, what's the map looking like?
Well, it looks to me like Flying Jew and Denian really want to try and get to that level 2 early. And the thing is, we've got Kha'Zix and Denian, not Denian, and Wukong here on the side of Zahi. And both of those really want to be ganking towards the mid game, where they're going to have either the Cyclone or the Evolved Leap for that extra ability to close distance. So I think Prince has a slightly higher chance of ganking earlier, but both junglers not necessarily known for their early pressure. So we're going to have probably a fairly passive early stage of this game.
Yeah, and I think passive probably won't get the memo, or that memo of being passive won't come down to that bottom lane as well, because, I mean, Will2G and T-Gun already getting pressured under their tower. So Flying Jew, he played a very aggressive Lulu in game 1 and he's keeping at that.
Yeah, his help picks and Glitterlance just then was fantastic. So much damage going down.
Alrighty, so only 3 minutes 30 into this one.
Oh, Flash being blown in the mid lane, though.
Are they going to go for it, though? Rusty takes a bunch of damage there. Zahi not able to follow. Flying Jew actually in a lot of trouble. Forced to flash. Ignite is still ticking. Has the health pot as well. The health pot will save him. No first blood.
Yeah, thankfully level 2 Ignite not doing that much damage to the health pot, enough to let Flying Jew survive, but going to need to be either going back or playing very, very far back. They're not going to be able to have the aggression that they had in the earlier stages of this game. That being said, 20 CS to 13 on the side here of Denian.
Oh man, and look at that. T-Gun just getting pressured. Misses another hook. A little bit out of character for him to be throwing those out without a target, but man, Will2G getting pressured.
Oh wow, look at that piercing, like gets shielded there, but Denian's still putting so much pressure down. It's sort of like he's able to weave his auto attacks in between on the enemies while he's getting almost perfect CS here. He's doing so well in that bottom lane. And it looks like he can play a champion other than Ashe plays.
Yeah. I would have expected that from Denian, considering he went to Korea in 2011.
That's absolutely true, but he's been playing a lot of Ashe recently, and I mean,
he has.
It's good to see him on something else, and it just seems to me that he's so comfortable in this role. He's been playing the AD carry role for over 3 years, And I mean, that's a long time to specialize. A lot of people often change around a little bit.
Here we go, though. Prince in the bottom lane going to put down some damage. Nice polymorph from Flying Jew, but it's not enough quite yet. Flash from Denny and gets him out of the T-gun hook. And there's the disengage. Prince actually taking a lot of damage in that as well.
Really nice counter flash there by Denny, and when he knew that death sentence was coming and was probably going to spell death for him there as well. And getting a lot of follow-up damage there on Prince.
Man.
Oh, wow, the mid lane.
This is such deja vu as well of last game. Rusty will survive it, but barely. Cutie Cheezeroni just commanding this middle lane.
Yeah, and if it's going to be a repeat of last time, he's probably going to go through and try and flash onto Rusty here, but not going to happen. Rusty's going to make it back to base. Picks up that Chalice as well for a little bit of extra magic resist on top of that mana regen. So intelligent pickup doesn't want to be falling too far behind this Swain.
And in the top lane as well, Jack Attack already strong onto Swiggle right now. Swiggle not doing too well in this matchup. Going to be forced under that tower, and it's fairly hard for Jax actually to CS like this. Doesn't have much sustain just yet.
Yeah, he's got the Empower to help him actually get the CS when it's under tower, but this is sort of the opposite of what we saw last time. Counter-Strike coming through.
Okay, he's going to do the damage here. Prince has made his way up as well. It's a level 4 Kha'Zix. Will they find more? That was a really nice pillar blocking Prince, forcing him to jump. Jack Attack might get away. Oh, Squiggle. That is unfortunate right there. Flashing into the wall. First blood will go to Prince, though.
Yeah, Prince with a nice W in order to finish off that kill. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing for Squiggle. Missed that flash over the wall, but that is a very difficult flash to make. And Squiggle also picking up an assist here. And what I was saying before was the fact that Trundle has the advantage in the earlier sides of the game against a Jax, but now with a little bit of an assist advantage, he's going to be able to go back and get equal or more items here against that Jack Attack, who's blown his teleport in order to get back in. It's going to be really hard now for Jack Attack really to snowball his lane like he'd want to.
Fair enough, and I feel that missed flash as well definitely makes sense with Squiggle's name. I mean, it's Squiggle, not straight line, so
that's true.
He's a little bit messy on a couple other things as well.
Yeah, if it was a straight flash, then it would have been fine, but that was it was an interesting. I mean, if it was a weird flash, a squiggly flash, then it would have been fine. But it was a straight flash.
I don't know if you can do a squiggle flash.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Maybe if you had a couple of flashes, maybe Ezreal can do it.
I'm not sure. I think we're clutching at straws here.
Anyway, Will 2G forced to use that shield right there. Not really blocking anything, so have to be careful because Flying Jew is being planed this one very aggressively. So you don't want to be caught without your spell shield.
Yeah, and they're putting Flying Jew on this Lulu as first pick potential, so definitely comfortable and confident on this champion, and he's showing that right now.
Alrighty, so blue buff picked up here for both of these mid laners. Rusty pretty desperate for this one as well. He's even on that CS, but we saw Cheezeroni and how much pressure he was putting down, so...
Yeah, and Rusty able to get that cooldown reduction as well, which really helps him with his combination in that middle lane to try and get as much damage down. He does have access to the unleashed power on this Syndra as well, so that burst potential really, really high. And look to see Prince potentially making his way to the middle lane at some point.
At some point, for sure.
Yeah, some point soon.
Alrighty, so a lot of damage on Rusty again there. Cheezeroni going to be able to spam a lot with this blue buff as well, so... I mean, Rusty's using that extra mana regen to farm, whereas Cheezeroni's like, I'm just going to do a lot of damage to you, Rusty. Look out. But we'll see.
Hard shove this lane as well. I mean, now Swain has a lot of wave clear with that Ravenous block.
That's some pretty good damage, though.
Yeah, and able to clear out those caster minions with the ball there as well is Rusty, so that's definitely good on his side. Able to keep up with the wave clear coming out of Little Cutie Cheezeroni.
Alright, so far in this game, Zahi hasn't really done much so far in the jungle. What are we expecting to turn around here? We've seen a lot of games from Prince by contrast.
Well, that's the thing. Zahi really hasn't been visible, has hit that level 6, has just skilled up that Cyclone. So now we're going to see him come out of this jungle, and now it's his time to shine. They're only 100 gold down because they're CSing so well in their lanes. So even though that first blood did go down, it's only 200 gold the difference. So really nice work on the side of YSC, and this game is so hanging on a knife edge, and something needs to happen for one of these teams.
And the Dragon has usually been taken around that 7-minute mark, so this is one of the
Prince
slower
is here in the
ones.
bottom lane though.
Here comes Flying Jew though, he's going to run out. Prince can't quite get into the fight right there. T-Gun put the Lantern out, but they didn't go for it. Prince using the ultimate as well. Flying Jew going to get chunked, but no kills either way.
Oh, nice use of the culling there to get everyone very low. Denian's super high health and happy to play as aggressively as he wants. And that was a little bit of a failed gank there. And as you said, in the mid lane though.
Going to be a lot of damage there onto Rusty, getting forced back, but still fairly healthy. Don't think Zahi's going to gank him either. Zahi's on his way top.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we were saying before, I mean, Prince not utilizing that lantern to get right into that fight. Probably. Oh, the flash!
Uh-oh, Zahi as well in the top lane. Squiggle might be in trouble, actually. Squiggle with a counter-strike, stuns up Zahi, jumps to a ward. Nice little use of mechanics, but there's a Cyclone to follow it up. Squiggle still in danger right here, and Jack Attack might go for it. No, they're going to back out. Good little disengage from Squiggle, but that was a close call.
Yeah, those boots just paying for themselves at that point. Squiggle able to move fast enough out of that particular gank. And in the mid lane, we also saw some action as well. Sort of everything going on across the map at this point.
Yeah, YSC definitely putting the pressure down where it needs to be right now. And a good gank from Zahi in that top lane when he knows the mid lane won't need it. And definitely making use of his team's resources.
Yeah, Prince was just spotted out by a ward too, so look to potentially see Denian and Flying Jew going ultra aggressive here in this bottom lane because they know that the jungler isn't around.
Alrighty, so T-Gun still has been playing it fairly patiently in this bottom lane. All of this pent-up anger though, I feel like he's going to explode soon.
Yeah, he does. He has been throwing out those hooks a lot, has been landing a few of them, but just unable to get enough damage down onto it. Nice spell shield there by Will2G.
Was a nice spell shield. He's had some great spell shields so far in this game. The Piercing Light giving him some nice mana every time he blocks that one.
And Denian just not really respecting the hook as much at this point. He's happy to play as far up as possible. Often you want to hide behind creeps so you definitely can't get hit by a stray hook, but Denian very, very confident in his ability to dodge those ones out.
Yeah, so only one kill so far in this matchup. Bottom lane, nowhere near as aggressive as we may have expected, but Prince has actually done a good job this game with his ganks. And I think he's going for another.
Yeah, T-Gun, if he throws him the lantern here, there is an opportunity for them to get right in on top of this. He is biding his time, though, waiting to see whether they're going to shove up to this turret.
Yeah, they really need to make sure that once that lantern cast starts to go out, they're ready to fight it, because it really gives it away the moment you see that lantern fly back.
Yeah, and there's a really nice sixth sense here on the side of YSC, knowing that there's something up. You know, T-Guns have like become a little bit more aggressive.
There we go.
Oh, there's on the hunt.
Lantern comes out. Prince goes straight in. Flying Jew's in trouble. Uses the wild growth straight away. There's the hook, and there's the kill.
Yeah, really nice sort of textbook play there. Prince taking a bit of damage, and there's the culling again.
T-Gun going to block it up for his teammate there. Good little play. Not quite enough, though. Denny needs to be careful. Death Sentence, if it comes back up, could turn it into a death book if he grabs a second, but this is going to be the dragon.
Yeah, Zahi actually showed himself in the top lanes, and Squiggle survived, so this is going to be a dragon for EV, because Flying Jew is all the way back at base. There's no way that they can test this. And I don't know whether Zahi being in the top lane was necessarily the best decision at that point. That being said, EV take a dragon and put themselves 1,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, and Squiggle's in trouble. Cyclone popped right as Jack Attack runs out, and Zahi taking a lot of damage from the tower. It's not enough, though. Squiggle goes down.
Yeah, one last turret shot would have been enough, but really nice use of that Nimbus Strike gets Zahi out of the way just in the nick of time.
So Rusty's low on mana here, and Cheese is pushing it in.
Yeah, Cheese does have that Catalyst as well for a little bit of extra mana regen on level up, which is definitely good. And they're going to trade for that top turret as well for that dragon. So nice work by YSC to get a little bit back in their favor, and they've pulled this game back to incredibly close.
So Little Cutie Cheeseroni, it's a pretty silly name at the heart of things. I mean, he's got cheese in his name here, and he's playing Swain. So is this guy the master of cheese? I think he is on more than one level right here.
Well, you think of cheese as being a strategy that's sort of something that's difficult to counter and a little bit, I guess, a bad-mannered.
Catches you off guard.
Does catch you off guard, but he's so good at this, Swain. It's not a cheese pick anymore. He's picked it so many times, and he's just so good. Look at him. He's up in farm against this this Syndra, and Rusty just known for his ability to farm out this game. And now Little Cutie Cheeseroni picked up that blue buff, and he's just going to be so hard to move from that lane.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of just picked up his own meta now and just forcing it on these Oceanic mid laners, and I mean, he's having a great success. Wow, there's a great hook from T-Gun. Throws the lantern as well. What an engage here on a Flying Jew. Will2G going to be able to put down some damage. Not enough for a kill, but that's the impressive thresh we'd expect out of a T-Gun.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
T-Gun in his natural habitat on that thresh.
Yeah, that's true. Flying Jew using that shield to stave off a little bit of that damage as well, which was really nice to see. And the Boomerang Blade not quite doing enough from Will2G just yet, even though he does have that BF sword.
Alrighty, so Squiggle still suffering this top lane. He's actually ahead in CS though.
Yeah, 10 CS lead as well for Squiggle on that Jack, so putting enough pressure on Jack Attack. Ooh, Zahi.
A bug sitting in the bush where he belongs to some extent, but there he goes, venturing out into the world. Will he find the kill onto Jack Attack? The damage will go down, and that is gonna be enough for the kill for sure. Both of them flashing for it, but here comes Cheese. Oh, Squiggle's in trouble, jumps to the minion. He will survive the torment. Can Cheeseroni chase for long enough? No way. Nice little engage from EV.
Yeah, really nice engage from EV, and nice work from Squiggle getting out of there. It was a good idea from Cheeseroni in order to roll up there.
Box going to come out. Can Zahi catch him, though? That is such a good box right there. Zahi just finding the Cyclone knock up onto Will, but he takes so much damage for it. Hook onto Will 2G. Onto Denian, rather. G getting smashed right there, with the damage from Zahi is incredible. He picks up the kill. T-Gun now on the run as well. It's going to be a two-piece here for YSC. That didn't work out at all.
Yeah, and that was almost disastrous for YSC.
Oh,
Rusty
man.
coming here trying to clean up, though.
Uh-oh. 3 might be the charm. Looks for the damage, doesn't find it. Gets the Unleash the Power out. Misses his E. That was terrible. But it's a double kill, and he's going to get the triple. What a play out of Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty picking up the triple kill after a little bit of unfortunate Unleash Power on the decoy. That being said, everyone was low enough in order to die to the rest of the spells at his disposal.
That's so impressive. I mean, the positioning is what paid off for him there. I mean, he blew his ultimate on the clone, as you said, and he missed his E, which means he killed everyone with his Q and his W.
And his auto attacks.
That's so impressive from him in that mid lane.
Oh, taking down the mid turret, though. Prince taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, gets pillared as well. That trophy, not what they want to be winning right here. And they're going to back up.
Yeah, little cutie Cheeseroni waiting for the opportune moment in order to flash. After that, counter-strike goes off and the leap strike lands. There's only a quick window for you to flash after the leap goes off so that he lands where you were instead of where you are. And really nice work there. Nice stun from Rusty as well.
I feel like Rusty's looking a lot more confident on this champion now as well. I mean, when he was playing Nidalee, we didn't really see him have an opportunity to really make the most of the champion because Cheese just shut him down. But on this Syndra, he's looking a lot more comfortable.
And in the matchup as well, I mean, against a Swain, it's good to have a champion that doesn't need to go all the way in order to wave clear effectively, and you have to use that Cougar form if you're on Nidalee in order to wave clear quickly. And now that he's on Syndra, he's able just to...
Wow.
Oh, wow. Jack attack.
Pillar actually stopped Squiggle from jumping to the minion as well, so that was a beautiful mechanical play from Jack Attack. Oh! Sweeps him out of the air, just hits him down. That looked fantastic.
Yeah, and that's a repeat of what happened last game. Just sort of, instead of with the chomp, it was with just an auto attack in the air as the leap goes
Looks
off.
so
as
great
well.
with the club as well.
Yeah, super cool. Jack Attack just knowing how to use this Trundle in order to get the
style points.
Style points, yes.
Really coming out, but here we go. Prince looking for the kill onto Denian. T-Gun as well. Nice wild growth. Oh,
fantastic.
The Thresh missing the Q, but finds a two-man flay, and the kill will be turned around. Denian finds it, and wow, EV just suffering in this bottom lane right here. Piercing Light hits as well, and Prince so close to death right now. Flying Jew wants to find it, puts the ward down.
Oh, wow!
Kills him mid-jump. What a play. Hook coming in as well. Can T-Gun finish it off? Couple more hits will be enough, but here comes Zahi from behind. Cheeseroni as well. What a fantastic play from YSC.
This bottom lane duo of Denian and Flying Jew is just so on point with each other. They're making sure that they're sharing this aggro and going in together at exactly the same time. They turned that fight around at exactly the right point in order to get as many kills as possible. And that was just flawless work there. Denian is so unafraid to go in and to use his flash at any point. That flash outside of the box as well. I mean, T-Gun put that box down, but no one got hit by it because they were all in exactly the right spots. And that wild growth as well on the side of Flying Jew. Stunning play.
The teamwork, the mechanics, the style, the coordination from these guys has been phenomenal right here.
There aren't enough adjectives, Place.
Exactly.
Aren't enough adjectives.
And if that sentence wasn't evocative enough, just watch this match because for game number 2, YSC are bringing everything out on show. Dragon's going to go down as well here.
Ooh,
can Cheeseroni stop it? There's the Nether move right onto T-Gun. Look at that damage as well. Ignite popped, and they're just going to take out T-Gun and take Dragon for themselves. Oh, look at the minion, trying to be a hero.
Yeah. They are looking to try and pressure this one down, though. EV in a man advantage. This is scary.
He's going to go in for the ultimate. Doesn't find it, but Will 2G does go down. Great catch there from Zahi. It looked like he was hoping for more, though.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to finish off this Dragon as well. So getting 2 kills and a Dragon from this one, they're going to be screaming ahead. That being said, I mean, it's only about 3,000 gold at this point. It's
wow, look at the heals from Jack Attack. That was a huge subjugate. And also got the passive heal from White as well as it went down.
Yeah, it does have that subjugate and didn't even, in fact, have to use his Blade of the Ruined King as well in that engagement. That being said, Triforce has finished up 1 on each side of this matchup. And also the Deathfire Grasp finished for Rusty. So he's going to be able to eliminate someone. 3-0 and 0. So picking up that triple kill in the bottom lane has really got him in a lot of extra gold. Almost has that Athene's finished as well.
I'm just so excited to see all of these orbs flying out of Rusty because he's got the DFG as well. So he's got an orange one and a whole bunch of purple ones. And whoever it hits is going to have a bad time.
They are definitely going to have a bad time, Place. And it's going to be on Rusty's shoulders in order to eliminate someone from these fights. Because he didn't really quite have the showing that he wanted to last game. And this time, now that he has those 3 kills under his belt, his team's going to be looking at him in order to help carry this one out. So no pressure, Rusty. But we've really got to see that Unleashed Power cause some actual trouble on the side of YSC.
Well, I feel like Squiggle in the top lane as well kind of has had a rough time as well. We've seen him get ganked a lot and get taken out as well in a 1v1, but he's finished the Triforce now and he's going for the Bilgewater Cutlass, so he's going for the 2 major damage items with the Triforce and the Blade of the Ruined King. After that, probably get like a Randuin's or go tanky, maybe even a GA, and he is really building up that damage now. Yeah, he really is. And a CS lead as well. Almost 30 CS in the lead against Jack Attack in this top lane. And we've been seeing Jack Attack happy to fight off Squiggle, but the mechanical farming just a little bit higher on the side of Squiggle as well, and able to utilize that Counter-Strike in order to stave Jack Attack off as well while that's all happening. And the thing is, Squiggle doesn't have much competitive history here. He was picked up by EV, much like Will2G was, because of the raw mechanical skill. Not really going to kill anyone. Yeah, it's just the ultimates traded here in the bottom lane, and having that on the hunt on cooldown is a big deal, Place. I mean, I'm allowed to get excited about that. Yeah, you are. Anyway, Zahi. Oh, here's the flash! Finds it onto Rusty as well. Look at that damage, though. Cheezeroni gets the Torment off. Will they follow it? Not enough damage from Rusty for the kill. Hook onto T-Gun. That was beautiful, and the Crucible not going to be enough to save him right there. Prince jumping in, gets the resets. Nice box slow onto Flying Jew and Eviscerate. That's promising for them. They pick up 2 kills. That was fantastic, and going way too deep onto Rusty there, not being able to finish off the kill, and then 2 people just got baited out way too hard. Zahi and Flying Jew going down, paying for the fact that they were too aggressive. Uh-oh, Denian looking for the kill. Look at that damage onto Prince as well. Will2G got lucky in that one. So. Yeah. And Squiggle and Jack Attack still off on this island as well. So Squiggle finally managing to push this one out. So very nice play here as well in the top lane. Meanwhile, while everything else is going on. Yeah, just juking it out. And Jack Attack has teleport. Yeah, and we haven't seen him utilize it to try and get into any of these fights. I mean, there was potential for him to use it in that last engagement to potentially finish off Rusty and or have a little bit more presence in that fight. But there weren't any wards available for him to teleport to deep in the enemy jungle, so not able to get that one through. And I think that YSC need to really start warding up and finding a position for Jack Attack to come in, because we know that they like to teamfight and they've really got to give him the opportunity to. Thing is, though, he had the teleport in game 1 as well, didn't really use it that much, so perhaps it's better for him to go for an Ignite, because he's been playing fantastically in lane, has had a lot of kill potential on Squiggle in both games today, so you know, maybe that's something he's going to want to look to change if it goes to a game 3 or in the future at the regionals. Yeah, that's really true, players. It's a good thing to mention, and the fact that Jack Attack now almost has that Randuin's as well, his teamfight potential is really high. Maybe he needs to learn how to use that teleport effectively in this game right now. I mean, maybe that's the way to do it. I believe you press D and then you click. No, you know what I mean. Don't be mean to me. All right, so Flying Jew is going to go in. Nice Wild Growth, not going to be enough. That is a very dead Flying Jew. Yeah, and Prince picking up that kill as well. Really nice peak potential, and that's the Scatter the Weak combination with that Dark Sphere by Rusty, able to just to pin Flying Jew down forever, and that's what we were saying. We were saying we need Rusty to really show up, and now he's got a 3 extra assists to his name. There we go. So this will be the siege. Will2G burning this tower down. Culling, not really getting that much damage off just yet. EV not scared. Prince, though, maybe a little, takes a lot of damage there. Yeah, they do lose the inner turret, though, so that's definitely going in the favor of EV, and they've really evened this game out. It's only 100 gold the difference, and EV not willing to let this game go. They are fighting back, and they are fighting back really hard, because this is relegation. I mean, they're going to be out of the round of 8 if they lose this match, as is YSC, although they're going to be pushed to a game 3. We'll see, though, YSC. Good rotation here as well, pushing straight up that middle lane to reverse that pressure. Yeah, Flying Jew coming up as well for the support. The hook not going to be landing either. T-Gun a little bit sad.
Yeah, a little bit upset. One hit left on that ward there in the middle lane as well. So they're going to try and siege this one out. No Nidalee Spears to be worried for here either, but Scatter the Weak and, oh, there it is, trying to get a stun, but unable to do so. And the Boomerang Blade doing a nice amount of work trying to stave off the minions as well.
Yeah.
So with Rusty and that Boomerang, those creeps aren't going to be surviving in this turret.
And the thing is as well, you know, YSC are imposing this push onto EV, but look how far they have to siege from. I mean, it's not ever going to be successful from that position, and it just shows how much of a mind game EV are putting on YSC here, because YSC are playing scared.
Yeah, that's true. That was only 4 pushing up the mid, though, and Little Cutie Cheeseroni did manage to pick up that blue buff that he stole from the enemy. Ooh, Zahi going in very deep, Nimbus striking in, not opting to use that Cyclone, though.
Yeah, good discipline there as well. His team not quite in the position to fight that, so...
Yeah, very, very good. And oftentimes you'll see a Wukong dive in, utilize that Cyclone just because they were right there under someone and they can get a knockoff. Really nice to see Zahi doing that one. And YSC going to try their hand at this Dragon, but all of EV are stationed around here. Could be dangerous.
Well, I think the Dragon's going to be free. Question is, will YSC be able to get into the mid lane?
Oh dear, he's going for that rhyme again.
Yep.
Not quite as beautiful as last time, but I'll definitely give it to you.
Thank you.
Yep. That last one, wonderful enough really to carry you through, I'm not going to lie. Denny going to be picking up all these creeps in the top lane, though, getting a little bit more money into his pocket. And the Zhonya's is finished up again from Little Cutie Cheeseroni, so look to see him potentially making those plays in these team fights where he gets in really deep with that Ravenous block available, and then Zhonyaing up and healing back a lot of that health and really distracting the enemy team.
Yeah, so, I mean, game definitely slowing down here, and you have to expect that. Only 1.4k the difference here. 9-9, 3-3 in towers, 25 minutes on the clock. It's a well-rounded game here for game number 2.
And so much on the line as well, Place. So both of these teams really not wanting to make those dangerous engages where they might have a chance of losing, not wanting to take unnecessary risks here either, as Jack Attack takes away those golems. Not that risky of a maneuver. Proving my point nicely there.
So, this game, what are we expecting next from these guys? I mean, Cheeseroni stole the blue and now he's going to grab his own, so definitely interesting on his part, the fact that it's taken him so long to perhaps take advantage of a blue that he's had to go and get his own as well. So
that's true. One thing that I'd like to note is the fact that EV is very squishy. I mean, they don't have a dedicated tank here with Kha'Zix and Jax. Jax is going to get a little bit stronger, does have his ultimate for that extra defensive ability, but he's gone for that Blade of the Ruined King and the Triforce. I mean, there's a little bit of health on there and a little bit of potential sustain, but not a lot of actual tanky stats on that.
Looked like there was going to be a bit of a base race there for a moment, Atlas. YSC looked like they were going to rush the mid lane, but EV coming back up. Prince is built very squishy here, though. A lot of armor pen. On the hunt
popped.
Has been popped. Talisman Ascension. There is a big engage. 3-man knockout with the Cyclone, and Zahi going to be taken out on the... Oh, what's the damage from Rusty? Will he find it, though? Not quite yet. He's out of position. Flashes over the wall. Survives it. 2 members already picked up there for EV. They're going to be falling in this one. Will 2G as well. 4 members already dead. YSC just steamrolled that fight.
Yeah, Rusty, the only person available here on the side of Eviscerate, and they just weren't able to get through the tankiness of YSSC. Eviscerate just... They built so much damage focus that in those fights they just melted, and the Wild Growth was fantastic in stopping Prince from just wiping through everybody. Really nice. And this Baron is potentially just going to be free for these guys. It's going down so fast.
Yeah, that one's definitely free, and YSC have to be happy with that. What is Rusty doing in the mid lane, though? Can he stop Cheeseroni getting anything down? He'll be fine. Cheeseroni will be fine. The race won't be, though. They can take it out.
Yeah, the race is going to be taken out, but so is the Baron here. So 13 kills to 9 now. They've screamed ahead, your Soul Shell Chuffer, and they are saying that we definitely want in, and last week was just a thing of the past, and we're here to stay. YSC really coming out with so much control in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
T-Gun popping that Ascension, though.
He's in big trouble, but it's Cheeseroni, actually. Nice Zhonya is going to buy him a little bit more time. Look at the healing from him. He manages to clean it up with a 1-for-1.
Yeah, and Rusty going down solo in that engagement as well. You really have to have 4 people in order to take down Little Cutie Cheeseroni. That's ridiculous. He only had 2 main items and a needlessly large rod. That Swain is huge. Look at Denian, though.
Look at that culling. Rusty will go down. Denian, what a monster right there. Just outplaying everyone. Can he get even more, though? Prince needs to be careful at about half health. YSC, I feel like this is just EV actually losing the mind game right here. They're on tilt, and YSC are going to capitalize so hard.
That being said, that's some amazing plays out of Denny, and they're utilizing that culling to get as much damage as possible, and then Relentless Pursuit into the piercing light and the double hit, second hit, finishing off Rusty. Just perfect damage calculation there. Finishes off that kill. Just really, really nice work. And Denian has been so impressive today.
Absolutely, and I feel like I could say absolutely in that situation because he is playing so well. Top tower getting pushed so hard right here. T-Gun, nice play, nice hook on the Flying Jew. It's a 3v3 right now. Rest of the team members not close. Oh, Prince just gets slaughtered. Will 2G will be the second to fall as well, and YSC are destroying this match now.
Around the map, and then Jack's going down in that bottom lane as well. Jack Attack picking up that kill, 1v1. Wow, and I think that was your opportunity to say filthy amounts of damage. I mean, Prince just got obliterated in that exchange.
Oh, Zahi gonna get hooked. Look at the return from Rusty. They're gonna go in. Rusty's in big trouble. That is filthy damage, and he will go down. Zahi gets saved as well. Mid tower gonna go down here, and YSC gonna clean the base.
Yeah, they're going to be getting this inhibitor definitely, and it looks like EV just aren't in this game anymore. Their body and soul just has been taken away, and YSC just switched a switch. And this game's so incredibly close in that mid, and then was just turned around. YSC making so many amazing plays. That team fight in the middle that led to that Baron was just immaculate from YSC.
So Blue going to go down here as well as that bottom lane turret. YSC just putting the pain everywhere. They've built over a 10,000 gold lead when it was even only moments ago, and the tower difference as well, 7-3 now. In 5 minutes, this game has just flip-flopped into YSC's favor by a huge mile.
Yeah, and the perfect example of that is the fact that a pickaxe was picked up here by Denian, and I think that he probably wanted to build a Last Whisper, but he went back to base, had enough money to finish off that Infinity Edge, and just decides, yep, I'll grab that one and a Negatron Cloak. This guy had a lot of damage. 6-1 and 6, 264 CS as well. Denian is a beast this game, and definitely has my vote for MVP for this particular matchup.
And you can't forget Cutie Cheeseroni though. I mean, he's still sitting on 2 major items completed. It's impressive the amount of damage he puts out with just those 2 items as well. And man, once he picks up that Death Cap and Void Staff, I would be very scared.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he could finish them off now. I mean, he hasn't been back to base since that Baron went down, which was a long time ago. Okay, well, so he's not quite able to finish off the world yet. I'm getting a bit excited, I have to admit, but he's going to be able to pick up a few more items, and wow, they're just so impressive this game, and we'll see whether anything can be done by EV in order to stave off this relentless pursuit.
I feel like that was a Denian pun.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a... It was Lucianly related to Denian.
Wow. That... I'm lost for words, Atlas.
I'm sorry, man. I really should not have done that.
All right, so T-Gun, I don't know if he wants to hook right now. I can't think of a single member of YSC that I would want to be fighting with right now.
Yeah, Denian throwing out that culling just to get a little bit of poke damage down there. Almost like a light show. Nice. Scatter the weak, but it looks to me like EV are just circling the drain at this point. Oh, never move!
He is so gone. Crucible's going to save him. Cutie Cheeseroni already into the back line. Knockups, combos coming out all over EV. Zahi will go down, but look at the damage. YSC destroying this fight right here. It's a 1-for-3 already. Cutie Cheeseroni won't find more, but that's surely going to be the game. YSC, 2 towers between them and the Nexus, and I think they've done it here. They will be moving on to the next round of the group stages for a potential slot into Supernova. What a game out of them. They win it in a straight set, 2-0.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Nexus going down, and wow, YSC just showing the fact that if you leave Swain open, Little Cutie Cheeseroni is going to pick that one up, and they are going to decimate. And also, Denian not only able to play Ashe. You can put him on any AD carry, and he's going to be incredibly good. We saw him playing the Sivir this time for the first time I've seen him play that in a long time, and the Lucian, and he was amazing on both of those champions both times. Just immaculate play coming out of YSC, and EV played well, especially in the early stages of both of those games, but YSC, I don't know what happened, but they played against Frenetic Array, and then they went back to the drawing board and went, okay, this is what we have to focus on, and they've made so much improvement over the last
Absolutely, and I feel Jack Attack has turned it around the top lane. 2 games from Trundle, played magnificently. Can't overstate that one enough. Obviously, as well, Denian playing fantastically both games. Cheeseroni, everyone has really stepped up their game for this best-of-3 series against EV. It was elimination as well, so we'd expect that. But man, the rest of the big teams here at the regionals will be watching this game and learning a lesson.
I would be scared. I would definitely be scared, especially if that Zahi on his Wukong as well. His Cyclones were fantastic that game.
Yeah, and they're going to be learning a lesson to ban out Cheeseroni Swain is where I was going with that.
Exactly, yeah. Well, sorry for ruining your punchline there, but it's definitely definitely a thing that they have to have been doing. And I think that if the Swain had been banned in this game, it could have been a different result. But we'll never know. Really.
Well, that wraps up the broadcast for tonight, guys. Join us on Thursday at 6 p.m. for IM versus Little Wraith and NV versus Frey as well. On behalf of myself, Atlas, the broadcast crew, and everyone else involved, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Don't need much more than this. The next start, falling here as well. Decimate takes a lot of damage. He's dead as Evan picks that one up. And immunity, I think they've done it. The Nexus ban now sooner. Gonna get taken out here as well. Swiper taking it up. The Nexus taking damage and immunity. They have done it. They will go to game some. Good game, well played.
This is just the beginning of Riot's esports presence in Australia, right? We're here to stay. Stick around.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Pepper, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.